session is almost everyone loves airships because the idea of Leoness is just like holding on to a mast for dear life, being like, not everybody. There is one elf right here that is not a fan. We are live. What's up, interwebs, and our 3.5 viewers here. We are doing a full session. We're out of session 0. We're still in a town, but not for long. And we are going to kick off our wonderful adventure. We still have a best guest Panger, who is the lap cat that is really the brains behind this entire operation. I just provide the voice. And we have Fens out, Ren's on vacation, so we'll just be the 3. We'll have Zephyr, Leonessa, Talus, and your DM Buck going through. We have a little intro set where we do trivia and a recap. Recap is volunteered, but there is rewards for doing it, and is trivia. So let's warm up with that trivia. To start, everyone go to your chat within Foundry.
Private G, or no, that's roll.
Yep. Go ahead and just... You're going to want to do a little test. Yep. Oh, yeah. And that's you too. Technology doesn't always love you. Aliens. Just aliens.
Aliens.
So true. Ancient Aliens on Netflix.
I'm not positive, but I think it might be.
Not sponsored, yeah.
Not sponsored. I'll pull the Markiplier. Ancient Aliens. I hear that you're sponsoring people. Check out these 2 viewers I have.
You intimidate the brand into sponsoring you. That's the logical.
I don't even want to be paid. You can just pay me in alien memes.
There it is. Beautiful.
Yeah, so go ahead and get something for a buzzer at the ready. The way this works is that I will ask a question. At the end of the question, preferably, go ahead and hit that enter button. In the order of which it shows up on Foundry is the people who will be buzzing in to answer it. If you have answered previously, my ask is that you hold off on the next one. I will ban some people because it's a very obvious question related to your character, and it's more about do other people know your character or the world. I'll start off with some easy ones. Buzzers at the ready, players. What is the name of the town the party is currently in? Talus.
New Haven.
Correct. New Haven. Follow-up question, which you get first shot at. World question. What kind of nuts does Leonessa owe that squirrel?
6 walnuts, but he can't tell the difference because he can't count.
That's right. So it's worth twice. So he can't count. He just knows words, kind of. Speak with animals.
That's all he knows.
You could give him like 3 and be like, yes, 6 walnuts. This is good. So that was a double. All right. So since we got that, let me go into Talus's questions. All right, Talus, you're banned. Everyone else, buzzers at the ready. What deity does Talus worship? Leonessa.
Isn't it Ogma? No. Am I wrong?
It is not Ogma.
Shoot.
Would you like to take a shot at it, Zephyr?
I only remember the weave. I'm trying to think of the name.
I'm real honest.
I'm so glad I do trivia now. Dear your God, yes.
Well, because I think, like, I was talking about this earlier, like, everyone's characters have just melded together for me, and, like, everything's, like, a soup of character facts. And this session's all about me focusing and being like, Talus has this. Zephyr does this okay.
Yeah. I remember the weave.
There is a weave.
The weave.
Something was woven.
I know they're like of magic is the title of.
Yeah, one might say they provide as the audio moniker.
Mistra! Shoot, it is Mistra. Oh. Gosh darn it.
All right.
Okay, now I'm like writing down for Talus.
You collectively came to it, but no trivia bonus. You now know.
I mean,
Thank you, Talus. Mr. provides, but now you will leave trivia knowing that your cleric worships Mistra. Kind of important if you don't offend your cleric.
And we know this now.
I didn't mention it once or every time I cast a spell. So,
right?
You do say it a lot. That does not mean that the name.
That's like saying mathematical. It's like you think they like what?
The god of math.
Mathematical. Yeah. Okay. Well,
I don't know why my brain was selling
For-
knowledge. I don't
for-
know why.
for a double, a daily double, buzzers at the ready. This is anyone can answer this one. This was going to be Talos' follow-up question for Arhor'ha, worth 2 trivia points. Buzz the ready. What deity is Frick's worship? Ooh, because this one was more challenging.
It was. He just had. Wasn't it Ogma?
Um.
Someone worships Ogma.
Well,
The
in
god
the
of
chat,
knowledge. Like,
yours
someone
came up
does.
first. So let me ask you this: is your answer? Are you committing, Leonessa? Last name unknown. Are you committing?
Yes, because I know someone. I swear to God, mentioned Ogma last session or last time, and I'm assuming it's Fricks. Then
Is this your final answer, Leonessa? Unknown last name Knox.
That's my final answer.
It is Ogma.
Someone,
All right.
someone worshipped them.
For the steal, not for the steal, because that means someone else stealing it from you. For a point of inspiration, Leonessa, what is Ogma the god of?
Isn't it knowledge, right?
That is correct. Ogma is the god of knowledge, not to be confused with Mystra, which is the goddess of magic.
You're saying that like I knew that there was a difference between those two and that they were somehow linked by also being knowledge.
Look, their temples are very close together in Lower Crystallis.
Well, that makes sense. My brain thought for a second that maybe Talos made up Mistra.
What? No!
My D&D knowledge of not things in this specific campaign is tiny.
This campaign is in Forgotten Realms. These are Forgotten Realm deities. I digress. I'm not going to shame you. You do you. You now leave here today with the knowledge of Mistra and Ogma. Things you may not have.
I wrote it down. Got the notes. I did not have. Well, I knew Ogma.
I knew Ogma. Okay, fair enough. Well, guess what? Because you answered, we're now on to your questions, which also means you banned.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, buzzers at the ready. Let's see here. What is the name of Leonessa's animal companion? Beep! Zephyr.
Nox.
It is Nox. For 1 trivia point. Follow-up question for you. What kind of creature is Nox?
Oh. And it is particular.
It has a very specific name.
Does it have to do with how it's translucent?
No.
It does not.
It has to do with its breed. Like it's what type of animal it is.
I am not sure. I know it's gonna be wrong. I'm just gonna say lion.
Half true.
Half true. Yes.
You're halfway there. You are living on a prayer.
Basically, I like the biggest thing is it's not from this realm, it's from a different one.
Mm-hmm.
So it has a different type of name based on what type of lions live there.
Like a Neomidian lion or something like that? I forget.
What was that? First part, Talos?
Was it Neomidian lion or something like that?
That is
close enough.
It is close enough, yes. So both of you can get a trivia point for comboing that. It's a Nemean lion.
Oh.
Neomidian lion?
Based, references to the labors of Hercules, first labor.
I'll
the Nemean lion.
spell it.
Nemean. Oh, Nemean. Oh, cool.
Yeah, or Nemean. I'm not quite sure what the...
I don't know. I'll say Nemean lion. Someone, or one of our wonderful 3.5 viewers can correct my pronunciation on that later, but that's how I'm going to say it. All right. All right, Zephyr, you got that one, so you are banned from this one. This, as you can tell, the first ones are kind of like easy softball toss-ups. What race is Zephyr? Leonessa. Wait, no, not Leonessa. Talos.
He's an Air Ganassi.
Air Ganassi, that's right. And
I'm not gonna lie, thank you so much for answering that question because my brain blanked as soon as I hit the button.
So you buzzed in without
I buzzed.
Or the Michael Scott method, if I just keep talking, I'll get the answer.
I recognize, I'm like, I know it's something. I'm like, if he asks me, it'll come to me eventually. It's something, air something. So I'm like, okay, someone else got it. Thank goodness.
Actually, I'll leave Zephyr's follow-up as the very last question because it's extremely tricky.
Oh. Well then.
It'll be worth... Zephyr's is worth a minor arcana. which is a
Whoa.
and that's what we're gonna end on.
Sir.
Oh, it's hard, but it'll definitely say if you're paying attention to Zephyr's story, and trivia is pertinent to what your DM may or may not have written. So I know that Fen has left us, but I have questions for Fen. Fen in character is going to take the branch point from New Haven to exact her revenge. We'll miss you, Fen. But buzzers at the ready. What is Fen's native plane? Talus.
The Fae.
The Feywild, that is correct. I have no follow-up for Fen.
Fen's a dragon.
Dragon! That's right. All right, buzzers at the ready. I know Ren's not here. We missed you, Ren. Hopefully you get a chance to watch this when you're doing vacation stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I know I would. Sorry, it's tough. Buzzers at the ready! What tribe is Ren from? Ooh. Leonessa for the first.
Is mine first or is it Zephyr? I have.
In my screen, holy hell! It came in yours 7 seconds ago, and then Talus. Talus, go ahead.
No. She was before me.
Oh, okay.
Was I? Okay, they all right. Because you haven't done the separation of the questions in between, so that's why it's getting.
Oh, well, because I normally do this. 1 second. I do something.
Yeah, so then we know where it was. Oh my. Again.
Did you just buzz in without knowing though?
No. I know the answer, but I can't remember what the question was.
The question was, yes or no.
Don't do that. You know that's not the question. I know that's not the question.
It's a college humid reference. The question was, what tribe is Ren from?
Fox tribe. There we go. No, because Talus is from the Fox tribe. God damn it! I told you, everyone's mixed together. Okay,
well,
I'm fixing it.
Talus, who was from the Fox tribe.
Wait, did mine not go first?
No. Wait. Huh?
There's a weird. It's
no.
So you went first. You go ahead. I'll let you guess before me. I've already got a couple.
Oh no, I'm just wondering if mine, because mine was the over here.
Over here. Look at me. Yeah.
That's what I thought. That's what I saw too. But hey, I got it wrong. So Zephyr, what's the answer?
Although it's kind of funny. Go ahead, Zephyr.
Referencing the shield, the turtle tribe.
Turtle tribe. Zephyr,
gosh
good point.
Darn it! Mother, everything's fine.
Well, this helps because now I know that the main thing you remember about Talus's tribal background is the 5 years or so as a baby in the Fox tribe. All right, here's a strong question. Zephyr, you get first stab at it. It's worth 2. How much can Ren lift in pounds? He is a strong bard.
Wait, so he was the strongest one.
I got a better idea. He is very strong. We're gonna do the Price is Right style.
That's what I was gonna. I was literally gonna look at my strength, and
Go. Do the Price is Right style. Everyone put in a bid. How much can strong bard strong?
All right, now do we want to lowball it or highball, or is it who gets closest?
I think it's just closest in general.
It's closest without going over. Was his Price is Right styles? Yeah.
Then I'm going to do
65 pounds. We got 65 for Zephyr. So pulling up 65 pounds.
I'm gonna go 70.
70. This is to clear, to lift, not carry, lift. Like
I don't know the difference in how you
Talus wins.
I'm thinking carry, not
Yeah, Talus wins at 71. Ren can lift 570 pounds.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
So you're off by closer to 500. Yeah, closer to 500.
I knew he was strong, so it'd be a lot higher. But come on, if someone
the prices was like, I'm gonna. That price of Rice Cast just walked in. It's like, I'm gonna win if I bid one more. That's worth 2. All right, so here's the question we're gonna end it on, and it is not worth experience, but it is worth a minor arcana, 1/4 of a major arcana. Zephyr, sadly, you cannot win this because it is related to you. I know, that is kind of unfair. But if no one gets it, you get an inspiration or a trivia point, your choice. So, it is a hard one. All right. Buzzer is at the. You know what? Not buzzer's the ready. Here's my bar. Clear. Clear.
Yeah.
We've learned. Buck can't read these things if I don't put a clear in there. All right. What is Zephyr's mother's name?
Oh no, nope, that's not coming out of my brain. Actually, hold on.
I think I did mention that
Once.
Oh, good.
Let me see. My party notes for Zephyr. Looking for mother, but I don't have a mother's name. I'm going to go with Ariel.
Ariel. It's not
Patricia.
It is not Patricia. All right. Zephyr, you pick up a trivia point or an inspiration. Which one would you like?
We'll go for trivia.
Okay. Good old XP. What is your mother's name?
So her name is Isabella, or Bella for short.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Disney princess.
So
If I was a water genasi, maybe it was Ariel.
All right. So this one is free. Who would like to do the recap?
I mean, I can run through my notes if you want. I got no problem with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, go through what you remember.
Alrighty. Well, as it started, Talus is walking into New Haven, where he meets Frix, who convinces him, instead of going to Crystallis, which was his plan, to go to Nexus. Leonessa approaches, Nox showing an interest in Talus. Talus offers Nox a berry. Frix is very afraid of cats. Leonessa, not knowing, picks him up, dropping him in front of Nox, where Frix passes out. Ren wakes him up with smelling salts. Frix, still afraid. Leonessa bargains with a squirrel. Squirrel tries to be cute. Nox swats the squirrel. Squirrel is unconscious. Squirrel is eventually woken up, and Leonessa explains the squirrel is fine, so Frix should be fine. She then belittles him by offering him a doll, and he becomes even more irritable towards her. Ben tries following stealthily behind us, but he's disguised as a dwarf clomping around in boots, so we all notice him. We go to visit Zephyr, where Leonessa again antagonizes Frix. Zephyr fixes Leonessa's object. I believe it was like a van brace or something on the wrist that helps her with Nox. And then Ryza, who's a friend of Ren, pushes Fen in there and tells tells Ren that she wants to go to Nexus to hear a singer. Oh God, it's Valencia.
Close. Balania.
Close.
Balania. Fen orders a telescope from Zephyr, but Zephyr will need parts from Nexus, so he'll travel there with the group. Fen knows someone who's himself that can forge tickets. Ryza, Ren, and Zephyr go shopping. Leonessa, while trying to find walnuts to pay off said squirrel from earlier, runs into folks at a statue of Paolo. And there's a white cat there with that was Paolo's cat. They tell Leonessa that people aren't stepping up and that something is wrong with her and Nox. The lady, who was later identified as a worker of death, just disappears. And the guy said he was the speaker of the Zodiarchs, who was a friend of Paolo. Then he and Leonessa get into an argument about what is tougher, hurting Displacer Beasts or 12 Beings that want to kill everything, a debate that speaker is currently overseeing. He tells her to take care of her shit and scoffs at her going to Nexus, and she is more confused by that.
It's good. Also, I'd like to point out that I love that the death worker, your character's a death worker.
She's a death worker.
Just a death worker. Yeah. Which is not wrong. It's true. It's accurate. It's just funny. Is there any It's pretty comprehensive. Was there any gaps, Leonessa, Zephyr, from your notes you want to pluck in?
I had what I had and more.
Yeah, I don't think we missed any.
There's no like broad like obviously we could go into every single conversation, which we're not going to do.
Yeah, no.
Right. Like
Yeah.
I think
points.
like the points of going through, like I don't think there's anything that it was important that was like missed out. So I think you got everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, GG. Those might end up being like the official recapper. That was comprehensive. That's better than my notes. We will go ahead and jump on right in. We're 30 minutes in, so we're right on time. And we will set at, let's see, Zephyr, Ren, and Ryza went clothes shopping. So everyone's aimed to get over to where the airship is docking. The airship in New Haven docks, not in the city itself. It's a bit outside. As New Haven, as being well-paved newer town, is protected by those light posts and wards. Higher up from aerial, it's a bit of a shimmering dome. It's like Talos, when you look up, you can definitely see it's there. Most people that look up don't unless someone throws like a rock. Think like a half-dome force field sort of look. And they call it the airport, because that's what it would be considered in this case, is outside of the dome. So it's a short walk onto the outskirts, and everyone should be meeting up there, because you're going to get on an airship ride, assuming that Fen gets you those tickets forged. The walk outside there has these large, called magical cranes. It's like tensors discs for loading and unloading these airships that are higher in the sky. The airships themselves do not actually touch down onto the ground. They hover. The cranes and the levee systems that do are put to one side that you will be walking past to get there, and then there's a passenger side and a little tavern, a little place to get drinks, and people are currently congregating, waiting to get on. And that's where we'll go ahead and start. And it's just called the harbor. So Fen's already there. Ren and Ryza are with you, Zephyr. So you'll kind of like do your shopping and arrive that way. So it comes down to Leonessa and Talos in what order you would like to arrive while waiting to see the airship, which is currently in the distance, making its way towards the dock.
Well, imagine, because the only thing that, other than the conversation, Leonessa's just going to go get some walnuts. So, I don't think that would take super long. So she would probably be pretty like quickly after they got there, coming up, or already there, just kind of like waiting.
I'm gonna start today's session with a roll request because this just sounds pretty funny.
Okay.
Public or private?
It's gonna be very public.
Why survival?
Okay. Yeah. Takes a while.
Survival?
Scrounge out.
For everybody?
For walnuts. So you get...
I was wondering, I'm like, what am I surviving? Like, you come in, like...
I need to have an encounter with walnut creatures. I shouldn't say that. That did happen.
There's acorn creatures. You can't...
The dire walnuts.
Dire walnuts, that's right. All right, you survive your encounter with the dire walnuts.
Thank you.
It does take you longer than you... It takes you longer than you think to accumulate them. I, as Buckland, the human being mastering this dungeon, is not an arborist, but I'm going to say that there are not as many nut-bearing trees this season, magical season, than you thought. Probably because of the development. So it takes you a while. Yeah. A lot longer than you think. A lot longer than you think. You're going to be actually like a little hurried running late. Because then you do that, then you have to track down the squirrel and the right squirrel. You find the wrong squirrel more than once. And then you lose the walnuts that were hard to find to the wrong squirrel. And the right squirrel is very offended about this. But then you eventually find a handful of walnuts, the correct squirrel, and you realize the airship's in the distance.
Yep. She looks back like shit. So you see her just kind of like getting everything together and kind of a hurried walk like a power walk.
Power walk.
Yep.
Just arms swaying. Just
Yep. Like she's trying to keep her composure together, but she's like, shit. Keep going. We'll get there.
okay. I love it. The Talus are teams. We'll call it Team Zephyr. It's a group. Would you like to be there while Leonessa is arriving in a power walk?
Yeah. I mean, I'll say that Talus was with Fenn copying the tickets.
Okay.
So he would have the tickets, and once Fenn was done, he and Fricks would have headed on over there. And let's just say that he's very interested in the ships and the magic that's keeping them aloft and all that fun stuff. So he would be fascinated by that and trying to study it the whole time.
Gotcha. Yeah, and you'll come across like one of the shipyard engineers that have to do maintenance on the ship, and they'll be talking you up while you're waiting. They also hang out at the place. I guess their break place. So they're drinking. You have a good conversation. So you're having this conversation with a dwarf. You know, Fenn has already left the forgery tickets, and they are long gone because shifted into something else. And Fricks is spouting theories to someone that will listen to him. As you see, Leonessa
Whoever will listen to him.
Power walking, and Zephyr, we'll say just for comic anime level relief, she's like about to do like the I have toast in my mouth, hit you, just power walking way too fast. As you and Ren and Ryza, she's gonna run right past you. Right past you.
Coming in like, all right, going. Get this shit. Okay, all right, there's the ship, and we're going.
Oh, the Anessa?
What? Oh. Hi.
Hi.
Sorry. Squirrels don't like a lot of things. Sorry. All right, I'm here. Is the ship about to go?
I think so. I think we're all done with our shopping trip, and you see us with bags in hands.
Oh, did you guys find things that you liked?
Yes, we had a really fun time, the three of us. I like pat them on the back.
Oh.
Ryza's all happy. She's like, I got stuff.
You see, Ryza has the most bags. I have a few, and Ren probably has like one small one.
No, Ren is super strong. She's like, obviously those are Ryza's bags, and like Ren's just stuck carrying them.
That is true.
Like you can't even see Ren's head. Like he's just carrying like the comical box of crap.
Yeah, gotta like take out the one in the middle to see his face.
Right.
Did the tickets work?
I haven't gone to see it at Stamp Bum, so let's go.
Okay. So yes, we're looking for. It was. I'm assuming Fenn and Talus, right? Because they were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's go meet up because I take out from my bag with the smiley face. Take out the stamp press that we need.
Yeah.
Talus will see them approaching, and he will come towards them, say that he got what Fenn had made, and seeing Zephyr take this stuff out, say, maybe we shouldn't do this in the open. Maybe there's a tree we can hide behind or something.
What's wrong? I can do it right here.
It's beautiful.
Like, no, I think he's right. Probably right out in the open is not the smartest. I mean, Leoness has been around here a few times. Would she know of like I mean, I doubt it. Of a place around Vikuga that's maybe outside of the view of everybody.
We're just stamping something.
But you're stamping something that are forgery things, and like she's like trying to keep a hush. I'm like, you're stamping forgery items right outside of where they're going to be collected.
Okay. So where should we go?
I mean, Lennox kind of looks at them. She's like, is there anyone down this hallway?
This is just a drop. That's the square. So you're, for Theater of the Mind reference, you're outside the town. Like you'd have had to walk a good 5 minutes. You can see the town in the very close distance. You could casually jaunt. Think about going to and from an airport and terminals.
Mm.
Think of it that way. Like there's a wide berth between the town and this airport, and there is like a little place. Go ahead.
Lena's the guy looks and is like, actually, I think I have an idea. If you want to go to like one of the corners and get that done, I think I have a way of being a good distraction. Just we know that no one looks in your direction. So she's gonna gesture at like these benches, and be like, "Why don't you go over there? You know, figure it out." And like Lainessa stays in the middle of the square.
I'll go to the corner and
figure it out.
Yep. And then Lainessa goes over to Nox. She's like, "This is either going to go really well or really bad, but we got this, right?" She's like, "All right."
So
Nox, and she's gonna have Nox do tricks in the middle of the square that could potentially terrify everyone or be a solid distraction.
All right, describe these tricks. I'm intrigued.
So I kind of imagine it because, like, when she touches him, it kind of turns into starlight. So she, like, when she like pets him, so I imagine she kind of like runs her hand across him as he jumps up, so it kind of gives like a sparkle effect as he like jumps around, and he'll like walk on his hind legs, and he'll just do like majestic bounding or leaping.
Talus, seeing this, will decide to help, so he'll give the tickets, and suddenly a like ring of like just minor illusion, but he's gonna use minor illusion to make rings of like flames, so that
Perfect.
Way
Beautiful. So, airport terminals, they have that place you go to get your ticketing, right? That intro place, they drop you off, you go in, you get your ticket, you go on your plane. So you're effectively doing Barn and Bailey Circus in the place.
Have you ever seen street performers? We're just
doing
street
you are.
Right
no,
in
this
the middle.
I love it. I'm inspired. I don't know whose idea this was, but you can get inspiration for it. This is amazing.
I think I was originally going to have him block them, but then I realized, no, people are going to notice a huge ass line, so you might as well just lean into having him do something more noticeable.
More, yeah, just you're going all in, and I appreciate that. If you're going to do something, just go all in on it. That said, you may need that inspiration almost immediately because you're going to need a performance check.
I mean, people can be distracted even if it's bad, you know.
That is true.
Public or private?
Oh, it's very visible. So public, please.
Great. Okay.
I am trying to help her now.
That's true. You are trying to help her. Do you have guidance
again?
Well,
I have guidance. Yes, actually, I do have guidance.
So start with guidance. And
sorry, I was just going to roll those both just in case. And then you said guidance, which is 1d4.
Correct.
Nope. Why did you make 2?
I couldn't tell you.
That's fair.
Okay, so I'll give you the aid action, which is advantage, and guidance.
Her goal is not to amaze people; it's to distract. So
that's right.
How many people is Nox running into as he's doing this?
Oh, let's consult the dice gods here. How many people?
Because that's what I'm imagining. Because he is incorporeal, so he can't hit them. But I imagine he's just like landing on top of people's existence, and they're just.
Oh yeah, there is. So there's not as many children here to see this. So they're mostly adults, craftsmen that can afford the equivalent of getting like a JetBlue jet thing. So you got people who are watching like, oh, this is high society. This is entertaining. Until like someone goes in it, and it's a good reference to like the Rocky Horror Picture Show and like oh, it's live action. They're kind of getting into it too. Mm-hmm. They like go to throw something at Nox, and they believe it's like a snack, like a jerky, goes right through them. They're amazed. They're confused. Like a couple's talking to each other about this. You're getting a small crowd. Like even people from the tavern are leaving the tavern to go outside to go look at this show. So your goal of a distraction is very successful.
Nice.
Yeah.
That said, this means that Ocean's 11 Zephyr 5 has to go finish these forging documents.
This will go perfectly.
So how would you like to go about this, Zephyr? The documents to get on the ship is the right type of paper and the right type of ink and the right words. Those are all done. What's left now is the stamp, which you have created.
Yes.
And putting it into a place, really just like slam it down. It shouldn't be too bad. But
now we have proper ones because Fricks
you
has.
do have two proper
So
ones.
I can look at those to understand where it needs to be stamped, right?
Correct. You can.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
you have some good reference.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
reference
look at the
material.
references before I actually do it.
All right. You
Like,
study the reference. You do the Disco Elysium, good job, +1 to check thing. This is a red check. You only get to stamp these things once. Now it's a matter. What you notice is very similar to the way a notary goes. It's not wax per se. It is an ink, and it does produce an indentation, like a watermark on these things. That is the tricky part, is that you have to apply exact pressure into the corner. So you're going to need to make, so you know exactly where to put it, what way to face the seal and everything. All you got to do now is to confidently just slam this thing, and that's going to be a dexterity check.
Okay.
You got this.
Public or private?
Make it public. It's very visible, the result.
All right. Ability check.
Ooh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
Come off with an 11. All right. You look at these things. Go ahead and give me a perception or an investigation to just appraise it, how well you think that was, as you compare the two.
Do I want the -1 or the +4?
You do get to roll that at advantage since you have reference material right in front of you.
All right, perfect.
Nice.
Ooh, much better.
Yes.
Much
So
better.
you go through stamping these things, and you feel pretty confident that they're good forgeries.
Ooh, all right, that's good. All right, I go and I watch the show as I still have the stamp press in my hand.
It's excellent. Let's check the dice gods on that one. Just like, yay!
How's the show going? How fiery are the rings?
Ooh.
Yeah. I think the only thing that you're missing is music, and Ryza and Fen and Ren are taking care of that now. So you have the full ensemble.
Excellent.
Anything I can join in on this?
Ryza, that now's a good time to ask for some money from the seers.
Oh yeah. She's,
get a little cap out. Just put it in.
Yeah, Ryza waits for Act 1 to finish, and just like Act 2 starting in 5 minutes. We appreciate your generosity, and she just goes in and uses her very socially aggressive self to like get money, which you do get some funds out of this. Yeah, well, 8 gold. They're throwing a bunch of silvers together. Comes out to 8.
Nice.
So benefit of playing to people who are going to very expensive travel methods. They had to spend on income.
Yeah. Everyone likes a show of some sort.
It's true. People like being entertained. I mean, we're playing the D&Ds. So you get some side money. You do a show. Do you want to do the airship goes and docks in? Talus, through your eyes, the main thing that you notice is a spark of light as the airship goes up against this large tower-like dock, using the equivalent of like magnetism to lock it in place and put a bridge across to the airship. And then it stops there. This thing radiates magical energy. Like it itself could be considered a magical object with how much there is to keep that thing above the air. Also for visual, there's different types of ships, right? There's little dinghies that float in the water that have to two people. They're canoes. This is like a frigate. This thing's huge. Like, you can walk from one end to the other. It'll take you a few minutes. Yeah, it's basically a floating house. So, big item that's docked there. but it has docked, and people are starting to unload the people that are getting off, and loading and unloading the cargo with the cranes in the back. Do you wish
I'm
to
going to.
go ahead?
I was gonna walk over and hand people their tickets.
Y'all get tickets.
Are we? Yeah. Are we doing it? Are we done performing? Have we finished our performance?
I mean, if we want, it's up to you guys. We still got time before the thing goes. You might be able to get another act in.
So as we finish up,
Nessa would be like, okay.
What's up, Talus?
as we finish up, I'd like to believe that Talus would notice that Zephyr still has the stamp out, and I'll point out to him that maybe he should put that away.
Oh! Thank you. Sorry, and I put it in my bag.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and with that, Leoness will be like, all right, Nox, okay, we're good. So you see him kind of like calming down, and she kind of like, thank you for doing that. You did a great job. And he's like very proud. Just like walk around like, yeah, I did that. Everybody looked at it.
Lion pride.
Oh yeah.
Good.
His like chest is like extra puffed out, like yes.
He's doing the Simba strut.
Mhm. So yeah, like seeing everyone come out, she's gonna Leoness is going to go to Zephyr, Ren, Fen, Talus, everybody, and be like, I don't think I've made it much of a mystery that I've not been on one of these things before. How long do we have to wait before we can get on?
I've never been on one.
Do you know that?
I don't think. Let me think about your backgrounds for a second. I don't think any of you have been on airships.
Excellent.
No, not me.
It's like asking the question like in a, well, we're about to do New Year's. Like, hey, how many of you been on a private jet? It's like one of those questions. It's a very expensive ticket. So, Leonessa, you're asking a very innocent question that I'm assuming your character is like, oh, civilized people just ride in airships. And you realize, like,
Yes.
no, rich people ride in airships.
Yeah, like they look like they go into cities and probably use them. Like I'm sure everyone uses them.
Okay.
Alice will just kind of shake his head, and as I said, look at Fricks and say, Fricks, how does this normally work?
Yeah. Fricks looks up, and he's low to the ground, along with Raizo. Well, don't get on them. They're very dangerous. You're going to be at least 800 feet up in the air. So if you have to jump off at the very last minute, make sure you count to 10 before casting Featherfall. Looks over to, like, who can cast Featherfall? And then he's like, oh my god, can anyone cast Featherfall? And he starts going through his bag, like, do I have a scroll of Featherfall? So he freaks out for just a moment, going into the reality. He thinks he's going to be thrown off of an airship.
Oh, I can make us go slow.
And then, like,
Perfect.
Fricks breathes for a moment.
If I have enough spell slots.
And Fricks is like, ah! You need to reserve all of your energy for this sector. I do not want to be a gnome cake. But being a gnome of Ogma and knowledge, he continues on. Well, we will go there, and he points to basically a security checkpoint before you go up this long wooden tower. If you've ever gone like rides in amusement parks that are higher up, you have to go up those long like wooden staircases, towers to the top to enter the ride. It's a lot like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, we'll go there, and to enter, you see that there are guards in armor. Like, they're going to check our papers. Then we're going to wait. We're going to take our bags.
Except for those ominous.
So like, as like Fricks is talking, he's just like watching like Zephyr like just think off the side. He's like just slowly getting word as he side eyes. Fricks is talking. He's like, and then we board, and wait on our. What are you thinking, Zephyr? You are my safety.
Oh,
net.
so we have, let's see, 1, me, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people.
You at this point you notice that Fenn's not with you.
Oh, we have.
You go do counting because that was the count you're going for, and you notice that your resident shape changer, that you didn't know was a shape changer, is not in Fen form, so she does not appear to be present.
Oh, so we have 7 of us, and how many of you can fly?
First, you can see a sweat drop go down the side of Frix's brow.
I think Landis kind of like looks around, like knocks him. He's like,
Don't worry. I'm gonna tap him on the back. I can cast jump on you.
What would that do?
Then Ryan's immediately like back hugs after I'm like, you have to cast that on me.
We'll be fine.
I could jump so high. Right? It's just like doing little hops. Like,
oh,
well,
I have a question.
What's up?
Is Talus the only one who can use Frix as a concentration?
Yes, it's due to his bond with
All right, well
Talus.
then we can't do 2 of them.
Interwoven concentration. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll be fine. Yeah, we should be. Just don't have a
I find the lack of data disturbing.
And like you can see, like Landis is also looking through. She's like, do these things fail often?
If they failed that often, the rich people that are paying the tickets wouldn't go on them.
And Frick said, the number on the ship does say 5.
Well, yes, but
He makes a
people
big
make
old
multiples
V.
of things all the time. I assumed there were more of these around. This just happened to be the 5th one that is going around. Are you saying that all the other ones are gone?
I am saying that I know the first and the second one are itty bitty bits in the ground. What?
And we didn't want to walk. Why?
You know the saying, 5th time's the charm.
That's not what anyone at the Temple of Agma says.
If you don't succeed, try again.
That they do say.
So
no,
then
hear me
keep
out.
trying with the ships.
If at first you don't succeed, try again. That means you try 2 more times. This is the 5th time. What?
Ryza is
Should we
on
just-
team. Everything is okay. And it's like, don't worry about it. She says in a pitch and timbre that the DM can't quite do. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. How often she like puts one arm like around? She's a halfling, so she's not tall, mind you. So it's more like around. Lanessa, how tall is? She's a tall elf, right? She's a short elf.
Yeah, she's tall. She's like 6 foot.
She attempts to like go for like the shoulder, and then realizes she's a halfling. Just goes for the waist, and then goes for one with Talus again, who's tall. So she's just like literally like a kid between the two of you. It's like, how often do you get a ride in an airship? And then like whispers, for free. Life experiences.
Lance looks at me like, honestly, never. And I've been okay with that for a while. And then she got like, and of course she goes back to the conversation with not Paolo and gets the wrong thing of it. Like, but we need to face our fears. We need to get on the ship. Okay.
Brooks is like, fear is an important mechanism that keeps us alive. So, if you'd like to calm down Frix, feel free to roll a persuasion check.
How does one calm down, Frix?
I will say that Talus, being a close friend, does have advantage on this check.
Yeah, like I don't think.
I mean,
it's probably gonna be Talus.
Talus will say, Frix, I'd like to point out first and foremost, going on the ship was your idea when you found me to bring me back
That
to
was.
New Haven. So
Frix counters like, and it was a great idea at the time. And then when I look at this thing, all I can think about is gravity.
And I understand that, and gravity is a force that we're all going to have to deal with. But as I believe Mister provides, and you believe Ogma provides, we'll find the way to get on this, and we'll be all right.
All right.
I believe that Mister wouldn't have brought you to find me here if it wasn't important enough for us to get on this ship and travel back to New Haven.
He looks convinced.
Oh.
It was a good idea then, and I should stick to my guns. He's got no guns. He is a wary little gnome. He pulls back his robes on his forearms to his elbows. He gets his game face on. It's like, it is the fastest way north. We can do this. And you can definitely tell he's talking to himself as he goes to the security checkpoint.
It's a very important job. It's a very important job. Someone's got to do it.
The Frick's whisper. It's so true. All right, so Fricks is off. He's off to use his version of liquid courage, which is logic, to get onto that ship.
I guess we should also get on said ship.
I'm following Fricks. Just kind of keep making sure that he's continuing on the path that he started walking down, so that way there's no time for second thoughts on things. Just going forward.
The world is a scary place. Fricks just lives in it. All right. Rise is happy. She needs no convincing. You can't stop her from getting on this airship. Wait in line. The most exciting part of anything.
Line waiting. We have to rattle him so that Talus can whisper him, and it's a delicate balance.
As a brief aside, having NPCs that allow you to bounce off your chaos energy or your law energy is very fun. Back to Roger's Go to programming. Fricks, who has been well persuaded to get onto this ship, gets to the bottom of the checkpoint, where he actually shines pretty well when being asked to produce his paperwork. Annoyingly so, to the guard, who asks for the paperwork, and he produces the piece of paper. And they seem like they ask questions. He has more than enough answers.
Oh yeah, they won't talk with him.
It's like, when was it signed? Who was it from? He's got it all. Ogma provides. Talos, you said you were directly behind. No problem. You could overhear the exact same thing. It's a very repetition part.
Oh no.
What?
You're making it seem like the other people will also then have to repeat the correct things.
What?
I was like, oh no.
Let's see here.
Think...
Talos gets a free pass.
Who's directly behind me?
Yep. What is your marching order?
Well, I know Leoness was going to go after. I don't know if Zephyr's also...
I was gonna go, so I assume I would be behind you then if you were.
Yeah, like she was just kind of following when she saw Frick going off, like using his courage, so she would follow behind.
Okay, so as he finishes, he'll turn around and just mutter a quick prayer, Mother of Magic, please help Leonessa succeed in her efforts. And he'll cast guidance on her as he walks out.
So,
oh no.
Thinking of the basic question of what would be the most entertaining, Leonessa, you do not want to be on this airship, and you're convincing yourself, just like Team Fricks, to get on this airship, which makes you look a little bit nervous, which makes you look like, oh, I don't know, someone's going to blow up the airship. So, the guards pick up on this non-verbal body language you're giving off here, and your giant cat.
Yeah.
And they look at you, and these are stately. These are, I didn't go too much in lore, the royal guardsmen. They go to the city, so they're not part of the city-states. They're just maintaining traffic. But that also means they're pretty well funded and well armed. Full plate, decorative, lots of show force sort of things. One of these gruff military men look at Leonessa, who is an elf, trying to get on an airship with a big spectral cat.
And I know it's not gonna look good.
looks at her, then they look at each other, then they look at Leonessa. Papers.
She will hand over the papers.
Okay. They look at the paper. Name.
Leonessa.
Hometown.
What's your hometown when you're in a tribe? Because they're not really towns. And so she goes like the portion of woods about 5 miles away from the large Yggdrasil tree, roughly 7 frog hops away from the outpost.
All right, this guard looks at you. He takes out a smooth rock and like puts his thumbs on it. Goes, I need a confirmation on 7 frog hop forests. Thank you. And just looks at you. Business or pleasure?
I guess technically pleasure. There's Bologna is going to be at Nexus, and I'm told that this is the only way to only way to travel. Apparently, they don't want to walk on the ground. That's fine. And you can tell, like she's like trying to be like, hey, like I want to do this, but she does not want to do this. Like I would like to walk normally. And then she looks at the guard and then smiles, like.
Are you or have you ever been involved with anti-alliance activity?
No.
What's up with the cat? Looks over at Nox.
Well, I don't know if you have gone to it's been a while. There were animal sanctuaries that I built along the way. Nox is a lion that has been helping me as like an ambassador animal. And like she kind of like leads Nox like forward, who like acts basically like a cat that wants to make a friend.
A big ass cat that wants to make a friend.
Everyone knows the cat that wants to make a friend body language. I mean, just that like he looks like if he could, he would just like rub against the guards. It's like, it's fine, please don't get angry.
Does it have a leash or a muzzle?
Are they asking if he has a leash?
They
or
are
a muzzle?
directly asking you if it has a leash or a muzzle. Yes.
So then Leonessa looks to them like he doesn't really have to worry about that, and then she just like waves her whole entire arm into his existence. Like he doesn't. That's not really a concern.
One of the guards is not talking to you. Does the equivalent of an airport pat down on a cat, and then realizes it's going to go right to the cat, like just shoulders, paws. Ask Nox to like lift one paw so you can check under the paw. Does a full inspection.
And like she's like, as you can see, he's not corporeal, so he's not like a threat or anything.
And the guard like gives the thumbs up, like checks out. The guard that's interrogating you continues on. Are you a citizen of Crystallis?
No.
So you don't have a Crystallis security number?
Out of character, she wouldn't have like anything like that, right?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, she's like, no.
Actually, on top of that, give me a blind history check.
Oh no. History, you said?
Yes.
All right.
You are fairly certain he is fucking with you.
Oh, so yeah, when he says like you don't have a Crystallis number, she's like, oh, Crystallis number, right? No, those aren't.
Are you?
I don't have them. That's a trick question, right?
Are you saying that I'm asking you trick questions? Is that what you're insinuating?
It feels like you are. Are you?
Why?
Like, I get it. I'm elf. You know, I get this kind of treatment a lot.
Treatments for the safety of this great airship, and he's like, I am transit security. like pride coming out.
I feel like at that response, she's starting to get the hint that, oh wait, no, maybe he wasn't just like, oh no, that might have been a real thing. So she's kind of like she's trying to smile through it, like
It's just
yep.
the big fake smile with a twitchy corner of the eye.
Well,
He hands your ticket back. Safe travels. Mr. provides. He doesn't say that.
I was like, oh, hold on.
Just this little heads up. Mr. provides the secret society of Mistra. No, just
Mr. provides.
Mr. provides. All right. He hands the ticket back. Like, I don't want you on my ship, but I can't not let you on the ship. So you're good.
Okay.
Zephyr, you're up next, right?
Yep.
You hear all of this.
Oh no.
You hear all of this, and they take your ticket, they look at it, and they hand it to you. That's it.
I like go to get like my ID because I've been in Chrysalis.
Like, what's my
ready.
ID?
And then I'm like, have a nice one.
Yeah, they wave you on in. No scanner, pat down, nothing. Just you're good to go. All right, you go up this. The party effectively now is making their way up to the amusement park ride.
And is Ren and Riza good?
Yeah, Ren has no problems.
Okay.
Yeah, but because Ren's not here, just assume like Ren, like the other NPCs, they're good to go.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make. Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
For ease of storytelling, they're fine.
Yeah, for flow. That was a fun segue, but God, otherwise I was gonna do this to Ren.
Well, I do know. So, is there? I'm assuming there's like a walkway going to the airship kind of thing. Like you also mentioned, like the stairs.
Yes.
So, have you ever seen a dog go over like a bridge or on something where they don't know if it's stable and their paws just completely splay out as far as possible? Because in their brain they think they're gonna fall. Yeah, Nox is gonna be doing that the whole way up any of that. You just see like he's getting real low to the ground. His paws are spread out as far as physically possible as he's trying to walk. He's like, "This is fine."
Raya comments like, "But don't cats land on their feet?"
Yes, but it doesn't mean that they like falling.
Okay. She's happy she's got all of her stuff with her. Well, technically Ren has all of her stuff, but yeah. All right, after
Which direction do you want
there's
to go?
only one direction. Like it is like a band. And this is Theater of the Mind, so like this plaza doesn't pertain per se. In fact, I'm gonna make everyone's life significantly easier and maybe to the airship.
Whee!
Yay!
Active scene has been updated. Give it a moment to load. While it's loading, your Theater of the Mind continues on. So you go up this. You go up this long wooden stairwell, and you get to a bridge that goes across. It does have guardrails. You are high up there.
Ooh.
Yeah. So like it's pretty gusty up there. You're more than 100 feet upwards to get on the ship. It is huge. And then you cross the decks. There's like someone there to greet you and give you a drink. They're very nice, very hospitable on the front deck. And they take you in groups to where you will be sleeping, which is one deck down. And it is much like being on a mobile tavern inn at this point. So they check you in. Y'all have rooms next to each other. And now you're doing is you're waiting for the ship to just move on. But you are now on the Vendrin 5. I'm going to double check a couple things here while you guys interact. Boop.
Should I be seeing something other than blackness right now?
You should be seeing other things other than blackness, yes. Is that what you're currently seeing as blackness?
Yep.
Zoom all the way out, then zoom all the way in.
I mean, I can see.
Oh, you know what? I lied. You're not seeing a damn thing right now because of me. How about now?
Oh, there you go. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Suddenly I'm zoomed in on everybody. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, nothing like
Wowzers.
we are on a ship.
Yep. So you're there. You can pick up either at your cabins or top deck, where most people are congregating. There's not, for as big as a ship as this is, there are not a ton of people on it that's not the staff. Maybe 60 to 80 for this size. The rest are soldiers and people manning this, and a lot of freight.
I wanted to see if I could look to see where I could be able to potentially sneak under and be able to look at some of the mechanisms going on.
Yes. So your game
Ooh.
plan is to look at how this airship functions. I'm jotting that down. What is everyone's plan now that we're doing that?
What, in Leonessa's opinion, what would be the safest place on this ship?
Good question. The safest place on the ship is probably your cabin.
She's gonna be in her cabin.
Underneath that covers with enough space that like Nox is just taking up most of it, but you can, go.
Yeah, I imagine she's like sitting in the corner in her area, and she kind of like pulling out her herbalism kit and going over what she had. Like she's trying to like ground herself with nature in the airship, just in a corner. Like, this is fine. We're just gonna hang out here.
Good. Okay, so your goal, Leonessa, is to fix some of these clouds.
She's gonna be people, you can absolutely talk with her. She's gonna be in her cabin in the corner, surrounded by nature.
She's the NPC who's in the same place until the plot continues.
Yep.
Good.
I just for at least until like stuff flies off. Yeah, she's trying to get her bearings as much as she can. Like, she doesn't want to show that she's scared, so she's trying to like center herself as much as she can. And that safety space is in a corner.
Okay. You adventure inside and stay there. Got it. Check.
Yep.
Talus, what is your game plan?
The first thing I need to do is, now that we're in a little more private area, I need to talk to Fricks about what danger that's sending us north. Like, he alluded to something when we first had a conversation, and then, like a big cat came over and stuff like that. So we kind of pushed that.
Burn off.
Don't you hate that when that happens?
That, he does want to talk to Leonessa about something. And then the third thing is just observe how the ship works and how the people actually kind of control, like what he can see, how a ship like this actually functions.
Cool. We'll bundle 3 with Zephyr's goal, so the 2 of you can observe the ship together.
Yeah.
Leonessa,
I'm going to be pretty easy this session because that's what she would do. She would just hide in a corner of safety.
Fantastic. Let's go with 1. Let's start with 1. So, Talus, you got the main floor. You check in, and Fricks's room is, next to yours or very close to. So you know exactly where he is if you want to go talk to him.
Okay. So I knock on his door.
Okay. He says from the other side without opening, "Who is it?"
It's Talus. I had some questions for you. I was hoping you could straighten some things out for me.
He opens the door like a crack, enough to see one of his gnomish eyes just peering out and up. And he stands there for a moment, like to actively, disbelieve illusion. And then once he's satisfied, he opens the door completely, steps back.
Okay. I tell him the lion's not with me.
He was, and they realize, like, for a moment, like, his eyes light up, like he wasn't even thinking about that. He was worried about other things that are going to kill him. And he puts both hands on the side of the frame of the door, like, just peeks on out, and then peeks on back in. But I wonder, can it go through walls? And if it can, are we truly safe from its appearance?
Never really safe.
he's like, I'm never gonna sleep. I'm not gonna sleep.
He's like, well, I believe it respects walls, so maybe we'll be fine.
But what did you want to talk about? I'm sure it was not the cat.
So am I able to walk into his room,
Yes.
or is he like still blocking? Okay, so
No, he gets back out. No.
Okay, so I'll walk into his room and shut the door, and just be like, okay, now that we've got a little more privacy, you were when you found me north of New Haven.
Yes.
You wanted me to travel with you up to Nexus, and you kind of were insinuating that it wouldn't be a good idea for me to go to Crystallis now. I guess
Yes.
I'm looking for what's happened to change that, because as far as I know, the members of the house asked me to research some stuff. I've gathered some information on both the sundew and stardew sicknesses, and while I'm sure there's more information that can be gathered, I think it's a good foundation to at least kind of prove that this is something worthwhile to research.
So Fricks looks at you and he nods. Like, that is exactly why you should not go back. Not now. It's too hot. There's other researchers that are researching this. And he looks around this very empty cabin that is effectively like a trunk and a bed. That's it. And then he looks to Talus. I think they've found different applications for this. I was at the temple and I overheard use of a potion that acts as a binding agent. But the main problem with using it was not the ethical situation, but the fallout. Someone would take the fall for active testing, and independent researchers, points to himself as a temple, and then points to Talus, are the first to get blamed. I've seen it happen to a good friend Frax. Not even Willis Targaryen, lore thing, is immune to that. And if you're not there when they do this, you can't be blamed.
So you think they're trying to weaponize it, to spread it intentionally?
It seems that is the case. It was very cryptic. What they said was, and he closes his eyes, beseeches Agma for recollection. Little light from the porthole goes behind him. Was that they found a means to bind it to a liquid. And the use of the liquid has many applications. And then he opens his eyes. But, Talus, the only application I could see for this is to apply it to someone.
But Fricks, if someone knows how to apply it to someone, and they understand enough of how it works to be able to get rid of it, I mean, that's what we need to do to fix the things that's been broken here.
They didn't seem like the type that wanted to use it that way. And, looks off to the side. Which house were you working for again?
It was originally Crow, but I believe that when I talked to some members of Hearth, they were also interested in this because they don't want it to be able to spread. They don't want it to be like the sundew sickness, spreading across an area. We have to try to keep it out of Crystallis.
And Fricks looks off to the side like he's thinking. If they use that in Crystallis, that would be bad. If they could use it to reverse it, that would be better. And he seems pretty hopeful. Like maybe this isn't as bad as he thought. Well, what did you find? Is this something that if you can contain it, that you can reverse it? Is it open to being manipulated?
I haven't yet hit a level of my research to understand it. That I mean, I admit I wasn't looking at a way to spread it. I was trying to find out how people had gotten it and how folks have, you know, how it tries to spread amongst people. It doesn't seem to be an airborne thing. It doesn't seem to be something that uh, that spreads just because of people being close. Um, I wouldn't have thought of trying to put it into a potion, but I guess I'm not trying to look at how to spread it.
Fricks like rubs his chin, his white, thin, wiry beard. It just doesn't add up, Dallas. I think that is the most concerning thing. It does not add up.
So are you suggesting it is better for me to just stay away from Crystallis until whatever blows up there, or until we have an answer to solve it?
Until we know more. We can get the information we need safely from a distance away in Nexus.
Well then, I thank you very much for stopping me from being blamed from some tragedy, but I'm concerned if others have looked into that type of an application. It's not, doesn't seem to be a helpful way.
And Fricks tilts his head to the side and back. Have I ever told you the story of the Targaryen boy who attempted to cure a prince of the Fatales? He hasn't.
No.
It's a fun. He pats the bed. It's like, I've lived a while. I've seen some things. And one of the things that I saw was a lot what I see in you, Talus. A bright-eyed young man, everyone's a young man to him, who is trying to do good. But when he presented a solution to nethicite poisoning, something that is very fatal, it was usurped by others and caused great injury to the royal line. His research was sound. His theory was sound. The presentation was sound. People, and he puts a hand into the other, just hits it. People are the problem. And if there's ever people problems, it's in Crystallis. It's also where the money is. Made my research. It's this vicious cycle that we're in. Why don't we just work out of Nexus for a couple months? You don't have anything pressing going on. Because at that point of no return, set a lot of things in stage. He was Aurora's most wanted for a while. I don't want you to be Aurora's most wanted for trying to help people.
I don't want that either. Why do people make it so complicated?
He shakes his head big, wide eyes. I've been asking myself this question for over 80 years. That is a question that Ogma has not deigned to give me an answer, and I have asked many times. All right.
You've given me much to consider. I thank you, and yes, I will agree with your plan to try to maybe learn more from Nexus.
And then he thinks I wonder if there's an agent there that we could reach out to. And he's kind of just thinking now, a little bit calmer. Thinking seems to calm Fricks when it's not freaking him out. Which is a good segue to the two of you go through your conversations regarding why this research, why Nexus, why now. And a few minutes pass, and it's a good idea to check in. Do you want to talk to Leonessa?
Yeah, but if someone else wants to do something, I mean, but I can go right into Leonessa if you want.
Yeah, I think the way it'll like walk down is we'll do Leonessa and then everyone will go with Zephyr and you and like do the ship thing.
Okay.
We're
Yeah, 'cause
bonding
you're-
the group back together.
Yeah.
All
We
right,
can walk in on
Leonessa.
our conversation.
Ooh, even better. Let's
Alrighty.
see.
So it's Leonessa and Zephyr together.
Looks like
Yes.
yes. Now, as I now read the side talk. Yep.
Um. So, that actually complicates things a little bit, but
Oh yes, that's the best RP.
walking up to Leonessa, he'll the first thing he'll say is, I have a question for you. I left Fricks behind in his room, clearly.
Yes.
I'm coming by myself. Leonessa, I have an odd question for you, but what happens if Nox tries to walk through walls?
Oh. He does it. He just goes through them.
It would be a really good idea if Fricks never witnesses that.
Ah. Yeah, I'm learning my approach with Fricks needs to be much more subtle. So she looks to Nox, she's like, we obey what the walls are there for. You see kind of looking like a little bit like, okay. And he kind of like harumphs and lays down. And she's like, I think we'll be okay. I think he won't go through walls.
Okay.
Probably. He's his own cat. She can't control him.
He'll smile and say, "Well, I appreciate the effort. It's always good to have a good conversation with another worshiper of Mystra."
What?
Yeah.
You use magic, don't you?
Yes, but I wouldn't say I
When any
worship.
skilled person uses Mistra's gift, the Weave, to cast a spell or summon a companion or, hell, talk to a squirrel, whether they realize it or not, that's the prayer to the Lady of Magic. Just the act of creation of magic, whether through innate ability, prayer, or invocation, it's a connection with her. So whether you realize it or not, you are worshiping Mistra every day.
I will try to make sure that Sylvanas does not hear that.
Sylvanas understands. I once had a discussion with the priest of Ogma, one of Frix's compatriots, where I pointed out that every day when he beseeched his master to grant him light to read his books, he was also praying to Mistra. He became so distraught that for a month afterwards, he would only use candles in his office. Finally, the head of his order told him to stop being silly and stop wasting the order's silver on candles. But it is just a common act that everyone that uses magic is both invoking her and worshiping her in a way.
Interesting. I think that's something that can be stated about, many vocations at that point, or items that you are worshiping the other gods. I think the struggle that you hit is how many gods in this world will you be allowed to worship at a time?
I believe there's always one that you give favor to, but there are many gods, and they all, especially when they all are allowing people to use Mistra's gift. They understand that Mistra is someone that should also be respected.
And like Lena kind of leans back and she looks at Talis. She's like, what drew you to Mistra?
What drew me to Mistra?
Yes.
The weave. When I was a kid, I could see just the connection to everything. I mean, the weave, it surrounds us, it penetrates us, it binds us to all that's special in this world. The magic of this connection allows some to do incredible things. However, it can still be found in those that are unskilled. I mean, when you look at the bonds of a community or a family, it might not be big, flashy magic, but that connection is the weave.
I I like that. When you're looking at the weave, though, what I wonder how much of the weave is interpreted differently through either different religions or different viewpoints. What do you see? I mean, with the world the way that it is, what does the weave look like for you?
It's, for example, just earlier today, you called upon Mistress Gift to converse with the squirrel. Now, I couldn't understand what happened, but when you invoked what you did, I could see the connection between you and the squirrel. I don't understand what you said to it said to you, but you could see the connection between you, and it was the weave that connected and made that bond.
And at hearing that, you kind of see her eyes light up for a moment, and then she looks to Nox, and she looks at Hal. She's like, "Nox, what do you see when you look at him? What does he look like?"
Well, I have I have good news and bad news. It was one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you, and it's a little personal actually. But have you ever heard of the Stardew sickness?
I've heard, and she would have, right? Because she's heard mention of it. I don't think she.
You
That's
are over 100 years old. And
yeah. So I
you
like she's definitely
travel
heard
the
of it.
wilderness. You do run across that, yeah.
Yes, I know there are a number of people that got infected with them. I'm not sure how rampant it is currently, but I am unfortunately familiar with that illness.
He goes, well, I one of the things that I'm able to see is it's there's well, first off, there's a connection between you and Knox. It is just visible to all, and it's an amazing connection. There are places where you're bonded with him and he's bonded with you that is just amazing to see. But threaded within that magic, uh, I see the signs of what I've seen people with the Stardew sickness.
And what
And
are those signs?
when I look at you, there's just a brilliant green life, fey connection. But withered throughout that, there's small white that's just as I've witnessed others with Stardew, it spreads. It just grows and it overtakes their energies. Now, I observed you and I haven't really seen any growth, but then again, I've only met you for a little while. But I'm I'm curious if you're unaware that you've been exposed to it or could possibly have it. I will be observing to see how it progresses. I don't know if you are familiar with the sundew sickness, but some elves had a way to hold back its growth to even be able to be around those that would be exposed or get it and ward it off. I don't know, obviously, if you're unaware that you've been exposed, there's nothing that you can do to have that be intentionally fighting it. But I look at the two of you, and it's the same way you're commingled. It's within both of you.
And like you during this whole thing, you're seeing like Leonessa is processing, like something is clicking in her mind, but she's just trying to figure out how to, like even approach it. She kind of looks to Zephyr as he's talking about how they both have sundew sickness, and she's kind of looking to him. And she looks down at her bracelet that Zephyr had made for her.
Seeing her look at Zephyr, he'll say, Zephyr shows no sign of this.
Yeah, I wish I wouldn't think so. Um, I hmm,
Yeah, I'm not feeling really sick right now.
good.
The-
I
the-
think Nox has been sick for a while. I don't think I ever thought it was sundew sickness because in my experience, this is not how it reacts. Um, but I do wonder the only way I could get Nox to really be here or be able to go feel any type of life was to bind us together. And Zephyr did that to help. But what if that is what maybe something in the tie brought the sundew sickness over to me? Is that something that could happen?
he goes, it's really, I'm just beginning studying. I mean, it is how it transfers from one to the next is something that I'm trying to figure out, because if you know that, then you can try to find out how to block that. But I'm there are theories. Some believe that it doesn't appear to spread by just people being near each other. However, like a magical connection, that is something that could possibly pass it. That
And
that
like,
that interconnection, if you will, that that it's my personal belief that the same way that the sundew sickness was caused by the elves scorching the westlands, I believe the stardew sickness was created uh, by those that created the travesty to the north. That their
yes.
actions have unleashed this upon us, the same way the elves did that. This unintended consequences of doing more beyond than they should have.
You, I mean, you said that you could see the light inside of me, and unfortunately, I've had more than once today someone, whether intent or not, ominously suggest that I'm gonna die soon. Um, how long do you think I would have? I mean, you've seen it.
I, I,
How long?
I mean, the illness itself doesn't necessarily kill, but it does change. It does transform, and sometimes those transformations, while sometimes those transformations can kill. It affects the outsiders more, those from the Fae, those from the other realm.
And like you see, she gets up from her like sitting position on the ground of safety. And she walks over to Nox and she's like, "Where is the sickness? Where do you see it?"
He tries to think of how to do this, and then he gestures with his hands, and an image appears. He goes, I've tried this in the past. This is it's hard to describe exactly what it is, but let's look at the Zephyr here, for example. And he just uses minor illusion, and gestures with his hands, and you see just kind of an aura appear. It's kind of a blue-white crackling energy around a shape that's about Zephyr size, and you see like in the middle of his chest, it's that's the brightest spot for him, and it's that blue energy. You see him just kind of just glowing. That energy travels both from that center part out through his arms. He goes, now Zephyr uses his magic in a certain way, and that's how I see it through him. He goes, now when I look at you and I look at Nox, and first he does you, and you see a sorry, I'm flipping through descriptions that I've gotten earlier.
Okay.
Uh,
Go ahead.
so what you see is kind of a similar thing, but with you, it's almost like where your energy, instead of being centered in your body, it's always kind of shifted towards wherever Nox is. But yours is more of a life, fey green energy, just kind of the deep dark green of the woods. But within that, you see these where the energy should be green, it instead has these white spots throughout it. And it's almost like that white is intertwining around, not just the aura, but kind of those lines that connect things. He goes, so it's not like a spot. It is spread throughout you. It's not like you take off your arm and it's going to be gone. And he kind of does it, and you see kind of a similar thing with Nox, where that energy is shown, and once again, as opposed to where Zephyr everything was centered, him it's always kind of it's shifted to the side, that wherever you are, kind of a thing. So it's almost like instead of being on your center lines, it's like a quarter of the way from the center lines towards wherever you guys are.
Yeah, okay.
And an energy kind of occasionally flows from like the center to the center, kind of a thing. And he also has the same, white. I go, so it isn't like in one spot and growing from there. He goes, and I've seen it as it progresses through other people over the courses of weeks, and it that white just takes over the other energy, and as it does, it begins to convert it, pervert it, transform it.
And you say that you've been studying this?
Yes.
So is there a
I've started. That's what I traveled up north to do. I was coming back to Crystallis when Frix confronted me and convinced me that I needed to maybe understand a little bit more. I thought I had a good understanding, at least to prove that it was something that more effort should be thrown into. And he believes, and I agree with him at this point, that it'd be better for us to understand more before we take it to other people. I won't. I'll be observing you through this.
I honestly would prefer that. Thank you. And like you can tell that she's scared, but like again, she's on an airship. On top of it, now she knows, kind of has like a label to what's going on with her. She's like, oh great. But she does look to Talos and just, with great sincerity, she's just, thank you for telling me. I'm not sure other people would have mentioned what was going on. They might have just walked past and ignored it.
He goes, well, I believe that Mistra provides in all things. And if my running into you on a random occasion, maybe it wasn't so random.
Maybe. But thank you. I'm willing to, depending what you're into, I'm willing to be here, and it's okay if you need to observe me. Let me know if you need me to do certain things. I'm used to people just trying to see what the elves can do with their skills. So it'd be nice to have that go towards something that can be helpful for me to not be overtaken by sickness. So thank you.
No problem. That's what I'm here for.
And then she kind of also looks to Zephyr and she's like, well, you built this bracelet. Mm-hmm. Is there a way to cut off the illness part of it?
I don't think I would. I'm like you see Zephyr like thinking about it. I don't think the bracelet is what made that sickness. Like I think it was there before, and it just went back and forth through it. So I don't think it came from the bracelet, or the bracelet can't have a filter. It's just from the energy sharing back and forth.
And like as this is happening, because she is interested, but at the same time, she can't help her brain going through all the people that she knew that had sundew sickness and how long they lived, or like how long they had an existence where like they were aware of what was going on and weren't like frozen apart. Buck, what roughly is that timeline of things she would remember?
Can you rephrase the question?
Sure. So she's told that she's been sick with a sickness that she, has heard of. The fatality rate or how long that sickness lasts. Because if I remember correctly, like it takes over and then you're essentially just like you're gonna just essentially turn into a tree of sorts, or just like you get.
For elves, generally turn into a tree, right? You turn into something very life oriented. As a result, like you might become something gloam oriented too, like the way this place should be, so a bit more gloam winter court, the darker sides of the phase. But from what you're familiar with, it depends on exposure. So we'll give it categories. An extreme exposure, like however that is, someone dunks your head in this source, which hasn't been seen what the source is, because it's not something you can like touch, right? But something that is exposed to, like how you can't see radiation.
Right.
If you were exposed to extreme amounts, you'd be done in minutes. But you also jumped into a vat in it. That's very, very rare. It does not concentrates. What's more common is like heavy, which gives you days to weeks. Lines up a lot with like Talus's extreme symptoms. But you would know that very quickly because you'd be growing like bark. Like your bones would be changing. Like your skin would be changing.
I'm not gonna lie, the fact that she uses bark skin and she's gonna slowly turn to bark, I'm like, God damn it. It's just
permanent bark skin.
Yep.
On a slower case, you're talking about like months to a year. And in light cases, like there hasn't been, it's new enough that there hasn't been cases who are lightly affected. Anything more than like nausea, discomfort, insomnia, it's kind of like, I wouldn't say treatable, drops your quality of life, but no one at this point, because it's so new, has died from it.
Gotcha. Okay.
And Talus, for like your frame of reference, since you have all this research, she's showing mild symptoms that grow, and then becomes, we'll call it like later stages of.
Right. So I would say that, but it's, as I said, like I'm going to observe, like it's one of those, like I've just met her.
Yeah.
I imagine as the week or weeks we're traveling, I'll have a better clue on
the
how
speed.
Things are.
Yeah, because you'll have a diagnosis of rate of change. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then Elaine asked if that's why your question like has no direct answer, because it depends. It's very exponential.
Yeah.
It's like I'd say the closest reference, unfortunately, is like cancerous cells. Like once they reach a certain threshold. In this case,
like I imagine her brain is essentially doing when people Google their symptoms.
Yeah,
and they think
your
like,
WebMDing.
That's what she's doing
Talus.
in her head. Right now. Just like, okay. Like she's thinking like okay, like if this happens, like how long do I have? So it's like she's trying to remain calm, but like that's just kind of like basically those factoids are just like running in the back of her head now that she kind of has a face to it, because again, this is the second person that has hinted there's shit's going on with her. So she's like, oh shit, okay.
Yippers.
Yeah, so she looks to Talus and she's like, what? I know you said you're going to be observing me. Is there anything that I can give you to help with your research now?
He goes, at this point, no, I can't think of anything, but it's definitely something I will consider. The people that I observed before, it was mainly, research, talking to them, how they were exposed, how they got it, where they think they got it from, just basically trying to find the how it spreads, so that way we can try to stop it from spreading.
Well, if you need anything, let me know. I'm
I,
happy to provide it.
I thank you for that.
How much do we know about curing this?
Good, Dallas.
That is why I believe the research is necessary. There are, as the same as when the sundew sickness arose from the imbalance that was created then. People then try to find ways to weaponize it. Why, Mister only knows. But before that happens with this Stardew sickness, you know, it would be an interesting way if people that aren't as affected by it would try to push it upon those that would be more damaged by it.
How would they know who would be more damaged by it?
He gives you a look and goes, "Well, it seems that those that have more of an outsider bloodline are more affected by it."
And she looks to Knox and back to him like outsider bloodline.
To be crude, if someone wanted to get rid of, say, elves, tieflings, other people that have a part of their bloodline comes from other planes. It's believed at this time, and once again, it is still being researched, that those folks are more susceptible to some of the worst effects of the disease.
So what'll happen
So,
if I get it?
that's a good question.
He goes, I wish I had answers for you, my friend.
Half air elemental.
I,
And she's like, so a lion from the Fey realm, pretty susceptible.
he goes, or you yourself as an elf.
Yeah. But it wouldn't go away if they were to return to their realm, right? You don't think that would happen?
God, what would happen to the effects if somebody brought the disease to the realm itself? That could be terrifying.
Very true.
That's why an answer needs to be figured out on how to do it. As I said, the elves previously found ways to hold off sundew sickness. Maybe there's something similar to that we can apply to the stardew sickness.
Would Landis have any knowledge of things that they had done to help with the sundew sickness that like elves might have done?
Ooh, because that's the sun elves, Elohimian elves.
Yeah, like I'm
wild
pretty
or
sure it's different
Xantharian
elves,
Yeah.
so I don't think she would. But because she's older, would she have heard of them? I guess is what I'm trying to figure out.
Oh yeah, you'd know that the Elohimians, because you trek around nature, the wastelands to the west. You'd know that they have a way around it, but just them, and that's just
Just
Sundew.
them. Yeah,
They
and
do not
she's
share.
like, yeah, she's like, unfortunately, the elves that are doing that are, I wouldn't say the most hospitable of elves, so I doubt they'll be very forthright with what they've been doing to help with that. With them being high elves and above all of us lowly wood elves down here.
Ellis just kind of gives a shrug and he's like, "Listen, we can only try to find out what we can try to find out.
True.
And hope that is all, as in all things, Mr. will provide."
Indeed. Thank you.
Again, you're welcome.
I'm not sure if I kind of feel like the conversation there is good. So I know Zephyr and Talus wanted to go check out the boat, right?
Oh yes,
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
want to talk about the boat.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Lanessa wants to check out this corner.
Oh God.
It's more because they're gonna go like what they're gonna look at like the mechanical stuff of it. She's not interested in the mechanical.
Mechanical. Okay, it's mechanical and it's magical. Magical airships.
Oh, it's true and magical.
That's right.
Hmm.
This thing is not like VTOLing up here. It's magic that's keeping this small house up. You can walk around.
I think
This boat that's unpolished. That's to size. This is how big this thing is.
yeah. So I think like Lannis is like being on the ground, and she'll look to both like Zephyr and Talus, and she's like, "You guys seem to know how this ship works. Would you mind showing me, just so that maybe that will calm my brain, thinking that everything's gonna fail and we're gonna die in a blaze of fire, and all nature below us will be consumed in our death as we plummet."
Well, part of
It's a solid fritzing right there.
I'll say, well, first off, thinking like that is not going to help. So not helping. Definitely don't say that. Now, he goes, this is a wonder of Mistra. I look around at the things, and I don't know. I'm sure Zephyr understands a lot more than I do. I just look at what they've connected and what they're able to do. It's truly a blessing.
I'd like, yes. I mean, right now I don't know what they're doing because we haven't gone down to see anything. But once we do, I'll have some more ideas.
Okay.
Like, yeah, like, and Lena says, up. She's a little shaky. She's like, "Okay, let's have a look. You don't know until you learn."
So, Zephyr, one tidbit that you've picked up with the short time and is that the walls, like the structural integrity that makes up this ship, is different from the real world in that there is a lot of laden gem work in the wood.
Ah.
Oh, my brain went to like, "Hey, if you want to know more about the walls, you can just send Nox's face into them. But he
Good.
can't go through walls. He's not allowed."
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Okay.
and to be
Can
clear,
I
Nox
tell-
hasn't tried to go through walls yet, right?
No,
Can
he's
I-
not tried.
Okay.
Can I tell if these gems are like Arcana gems that are like? Is it like spell based or is it just like magic circuit based?
Magic circuit base. It is very
Ooh.
artifice related. Yeah, like no check required. Zephyr specifically can pick up that this is the similar to when you like do like circuit boards or do like wiring.
Yep.
The ship itself has a lot of that going through it. Looks very pretty. Like for everyone else, it looks like artistry. But Zephyr's like, no, that's gemstone work. Like that's a conduit.
Messy. They didn't cover it up.
Yeah. It's like just open wires. No, it's like
Yeah,
this nice.
literally, that's what I'm saying. It's open wires.
We touch it. Do you touch the open gemstones?
No,
Okay.
I know better to touch the open gemstones.
But
I'm gonna say to the party, do not touch the gemstones on the walls.
What are they gonna do?
What does Talus
Leonessa, you'd be the last one to want to touch
She
the
doesn't
gemstones.
She doesn't want to touch them, but she wants to know what they'll do now.
You know what? He doesn't care. We might fall, so I wouldn't touch them.
tell us.
Okay,
Like it's
okay.
not helping.
I was gonna say lately, like, wait, no, I wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
I mean, if you ever want to do more emotes, we need to have a not helping emote
I
now.
put
Find a
it
way
put
to
it
get it in there.
put it in Discord. We do emotes every season. I think that Talus is not helping is just cemented.
Mr. provides? Not
Mr.
helping.
provides, yeah. Well, we have to do like
Oh,
packs
that's
of 6,
funny.
so we could probably do a couple of them.
Mhm.
So one thing, as Talus watching Zephyr kind of look at all this and stuff like that, he's just slowly muttering prayers to himself every now and then, and just touching Zephyr gently on the shoulder, pointing out things, and just casting guidance on him every chance he can. So that way, any time he's trying to figure out something, he's going to be blessed by Mistra to try to help him.
Beautiful. I'd like the following. Talus, for like common sense stuff, give me a blind insight check. Zephyr, for understanding things, give me a blind arcana check. And both of you can roll guidance on it.
And guidance, that's the D4, right?
Correct.
I'm sorry, what am I rolling again?
Insight, like common sense things, such as why would they put where people are going their cabins work if it's going to shock them to death or drop the ship? Like, why would they do that sort of questions?
That's a fair question. Like, why do you have something that could so blatantly injure you?
Yes.
Being so close.
Whereas
to
Zephyr is like, this is how electricity, magical electricity works, like the different angles. So Talus, specifically that does come up. Like, they have to be safe enough to touch, probably not want to be tampered with. Anything that's openly exposed. That said, as the two of you walk the open area, which is the one floor deck down where people are, like the cabins are, people are, and the top decks. The top decks are much more majestic. Now that you've like keyed into the gem work, you notice that the floors themselves aren't paved and pretty just for hosting, because there are people, most people are on the top deck right now waiting for the ship to go off. They're drinking, they're talking, there's live music. It's a festival cruise or a carnival cruise. It's a good time.
Yeah.
There's one vacation.
Mm-hmm.
But Zephyr, you pick up like, oh no, this is actually part of the work that's good for like warding or keeping things safe. So if something actually hits the ship, it's not going to go deeper into the bowels of it. You also, Zephyr, you have investigation, right?
I believe so. Yeah, not proficient, but I have good investigation.
Talus, do you have investigation?
Oh, I do believe so. I've got I think I went with most things. Yeah, I'm proficient in it. I get +3.
Cool. Talus, give me a blind investigation. And you can also roll guidance on that too. As you pursue like further, you notice that there are like batteries and a place to defend themselves. It becomes difficult to get to them as there are guards stationed over the armaments. But these guys are indeed dangerous, so that's rather nice that they are there. Zephyr, they'd be fascinating to observe in detail. However, they don't let you anywhere near close to them. Yet. You can make a stealthing of it later. Currently, in the active day, as people are boarding the ship, they're currently actively guarded. The masts themselves are not those for specifically wind. Like, there are sails just for the sake of nostalgia, but they don't move that way. Like, it's literally, the weave that's into the cloth themselves that's helping doing the propulsion. And the pillars themselves is more gear-like in nature than else. That is where a lot gets drawn down like a lightning rod. There's someone staring at in the back who is just hanging out. He's captain. Pretty nondescript, like the old sailor captain. He's got a cap, beard, pipe. Just looking over things. Big old nautical vest or jacket.
Talus will comment to Zephyr that's the captain. That's the guy that could probably let us know a little bit more about how all this stuff is working. You know, we stay on his good side, might be able to figure out, how all this is progressing.
As you say this, mention that's the captain. Zephyr.
Mm-hmm.
How would you react to just randomly having like your shoulder like tapped or like patted on?
Probably a little bit of a jump.
Okay, that happens. So someone behind you is like, "Did someone say a captain?" Hand on Zephyr's shoulder. There's a person behind you. Looks human. Fur-lined coat. Has like the hello, I'm a rogue, like very rogue-esque features to him. Black hair. If Flynn Rider was like 25 and had dark hair, that's the person that just tapped on Zephyr's shoulder.
Hi.
Hello. It's like just looking at Zephyr. Dante Leon, captain of the Ghost. It's a pleasure to meet you. Are you interested in this nice slow ship that you're currently on?
Yes, I am.
Well, if he points to like the bar, you buy me 2 drinks, I will answer any question you want.
Yeah,
Okay.
I will.
Talus, give me a blind insight check, because I mean Zephyr's all for it. It sounds like.
Yeah.
He sounds like he's full of shit. He's trying to get free drinks.
Yeah. Did he say he was the captain of the Ghost?
Of the Ghost, yeah.
Okay.
Which
So
go do a history check, see if that's even the real ship. Blind. You're fairly certain that's not a real ship. You know what? One more history check. You're fairly certain that's not a real ship. You're fairly certain that's a fictional ship. And he introduced himself as Dante Leon, which is a fictional character. That is the captain of a fictional ship called the Ghost. So he's not wrong, but he's definitely not being honest.
okay. So I guess I will step in at this point and say Dante Leon.
Dante, my friend, is very important. It's a name that lives, again, arm around you, chummy with all, and does like the Buzz Lightyear. Captain of the Ghosts, the fastest ship in all of Aurora.
Wasn't it able to run the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs?
Oh, so you do know of me and my ship.
I do know that I enjoyed reading that story when I was a kid. Yes.
No. They writ of our wonderful adventures, and I see that you are a fan. You have the honor of buying me the first drink, and points to exactly. I did not catch your name though, friend.
Hi, I'm Zephyr.
He goes and he shakes your hand very cordially. Don't tell Leon, Captain of the Ghost.
But I thank you, Don Telion, but I need to talk to my compatriot here a little bit and
about sheeps, no? Well, what better talk to sheeps than with the captain?
Captain of
the Ghost, fastest ship in Aurora. I know more than anyone.
Very good story. Yes, very good story.
You seem skeptical, my friend. I did not catch your name.
My name is Talus, and I guess when I spent a lot of time reading next to the Temple of Ogma, I did get a chance to enjoy several stories about the Ghost, and
So you are a fan. It is nice. He takes your hand, shakes it. It is nice to meet a fan of Dante Leon and the Ghost, the fastest ship in Aurora. You know that the Ghost does not. He points down like this big ship. Does not use the same mechanism as the Vengren. It schemes off the top of the canopy. When it does so, it moves so much faster.
Really? How does that work?
He puts an arm around Zephyr like, my friend. That is a tale best told over drinks.
Talus will once again step in and kind of grab the other side of Zephyr and be like, Zephyr, let's continue on wandering over here. Don Telion, maybe we will visit you in the bar later.
He does. He takes like a step back and kind of like looks at Talus, then looks at Zephyr, then looks at Talus, and gives like Talus a winking light. Like, of course, my friend, I will be at the bar whenever the two of you are free. And he's heavily insinuating the two of you together and goes to the bar.
I should have asked.
I can learn so much from him.
If I roll another history check, could I come up with another character from that same story?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's actually, we'll talk about during after talk. There's a whole lot we can roll off of that. I know Leoness is probably rolling right now because of this interview.
Oh yes, it's beautiful. I always get happy when people can meet Dante Leon and see what ridiculousness he tries to pull.
Just grade A bullshit. Yeah. So okay, the two of you get away from this grifter, and what are you doing now?
Well, first thing I'm going to do just a general check to make sure, like, I still have, the arm greaves and stuff like that on my arm.
Oh yeah. Make sure he didn't because he's being so chummy. Did you lose something?
Yes.
You do not appear to have lost anything. Like a purse check. Nothing in your coin purse seems any lighter. Everything appears to be there.
Okay. Just thought I'd ask.
And to add like the Frick's like sweat drop, the ship does start moving now.
All right.
So like the ability to disembark is gone.
I would also say anything I have is in my bag, so
Right. You'd have to take the bag of holding from Zephyr on that one. You notice your bag of holding is still there.
I will explain to Zephyr that I know that this ghost is a story written to entertain people, but and actually, you know, it was just basically a load of bullshit.
But he seemed. Why would he lie to us like that?
Well, maybe he thought that a couple free drinks while he spun stories that really didn't inform us of anything would be worthwhile.
But isn't
You and
that?
I do not know anything about this. Do you want to build our knowledge on a shaky ground of fiction, or do we want to actually observe what we see that Mistra's showing us all around, that we can better understand what's really happening instead of what someone's making up off the top of their heads?
I mean, we can research the ship, but I don't know. We could always go back and talk to him.
We could always go back and talk to them if you. As I said, I'm just going to say that if we do take about a half to three quarters of what he says and know that it sounds really good, if I could remember more of the story, I would give you some of the details of the fictional ghost. But you, so if you want to hear about a fictional story, then that's the guy to go to. And the cost of a couple drinks isn't really that expensive, but I don't want you to go in there and have your knowledge muddled by falsity.
I could tell real from fiction. So is the captain? What's the captain doing right now? The actual captain.
The actual captain of the Vengrin 5 is just hanging out at the wheel. Just well, he's no longer watching people because he's the ship's going out. So now he seems rather busy disembarking, navigating the ship.
Have as we've walked, have I seen any doors that are kind of like do not enter, staff only?
Yes, give me a blind investigation, which will be a little different than Talus's.
All right, got you. Not private, it has to be blind.
Yeah,
Investigation.
So, interestingly enough, yes. And because you're a smart being, you can do some spatial relationships that when you go down, there is absolutely spaces in like the fore and the aft that are like off, period. And there are hatches that go down, and they are locked and labeled. Well, they're not locked. People need to get access to them, but they could be locked. There are areas the top deck like that. You notice that there are areas with doors in the cabin areas. You haven't seen a very obvious way to go down beyond the cabin area.
All right. So I'm talking to Talus. I want to get down and see any part of the engine where these circuits line up to and how things connect. I don't know how much you want to learn.
Let me explain something to you, Zephyr. I saw within you when I first met you back in Crystallis, just a gift. And one of Mistra's important rules is to keep an eye out for those who demonstrate high potential for using magic and help them realize their potential. So if you want to go downstairs and see what you can see, I'm with you. I'm here to support you.
I don't know about you, but um, I like put my my locket in my hand. I have a way so they don't know it's me going down there. But what about you?
You would use your gift to disguise your appearance?
In a way, it's some way where they wouldn't recognize it was me because I haven't shown it yet.
Oh, my friend, I don't have any such power myself, but I fully believe that if we are supposed to go down there, then Mr. will provide.
All right. I'm gonna go and try to find the lowest part of the deck that is accessible for us, which I assume is next to our rooms, right?
The cabin deck, that's correct, which is
The cabin, yeah.
one floor down.
So I'm gonna go to the cabin deck with Talus. And I'm
Okay.
gonna kind of look around at the different doors there and see if I can.
Yes, with a little bit of time, and, the ship's going on its merry way, so you're mid-flight. You
Mhm.
notice that there are staff that have their jobs to do, and they're going in and out of staff doors that are absolutely off limits. So you find quite a few of these.
Mhm.
The-
Sorry, keep going.
yeah, the big notable is that a lot of the cabins are face outwards, so you have a porthole and can see out. A lot of the staff things, there are doors going inwards towards the center.
Okay. How long can I spend watching kind of a pattern of when they come in and when they come out?
As much as you'd like. Like you won't draw a whole lot of suspicion, or don't appear to, doing some reconnaissance, because people are expected to be walking around on this floor. That said, Zephyr does stand out a lot. He's the only air ganassi that's on this ship.
Yep.
Talus, a little bit of a pass. There are a lot more humans. I'd say more than two-thirds are human or human looking in Descendants. But you can. No one's giving you the what are you doing eyes.
Yeah. How, looking at specific doors, how much leeway time would I have between seeing someone leave one and another person leaving or entering the same door?
The busiest doors, people are going in intervals of 5 to 15 minutes, like the heaviest footwork. And the ones that are not, if you spend an hour or two just doing recon, only go into maybe once during that 2 hours if you were looking into them. So there are definitely some that are less traveled than others.
And telling by the people coming out, do they all look kind of like the same kind of job? Are they?
Good question. No, the people in the most busy look like service. Like they take care of the rooms. Like there's the maids. The people that are going in the less frequent, they look like more mechanics.
Okay, I'm going to try to time for when someone leaves there and they're out of sight to go in right after.
So you're gonna go basically wait for the mechanic to leave, go out of sight, and then try the door and see if you can't get in.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see what Mr. provides.
You got this.
All right. You start the Metal Gear Solid music. You start going. You don't have a box. You get to the door immediately after sight. Test it. The door is unlocked. You're able to get to the other side of said door. When you get on the other side of the door, it is much less nice looking. This is where you have metal and you see cog and clockwork back here. It is hot. It is uncomfortable. There's not a lot of footing space, and there is magic crap everywhere. This is where you see cylindric chambers that are holding some sort of liquid that are going up and down or changing colors to other ones. You see pistons that are going off. The hum of a finely tuned enchantment, and the hiss of steam. And there's more catwalks here than there's actually walkways. It's the guts of the ship.
Yeah. I'm going to. Okay. I'm going to armor up with helmet, so I am unrecognizable.
And Talus sees this now, yeah?
Yep, so this is the first time he'll really see me do this. and it's a mix of Iron Man kind of ex Sailor Moon esque.
Beautiful. No, I want to hear this. Do the magical throw transformation scene. Do it.
Oh, you see, I have my locket on my chest around my neck. I tap it, and you see some magic energy from my hand go into it. As you see, it expands out, first going across my chest, making these silver plates appear going down, and it covers through my arms. Some more like splint plates going down. A little bit of a red undertone with it, and then to these big gloves that have, think of League of Legends Vi, where they're just big kind of energy, like big kind of clockworkish gloves with the fingers movable and like a little thing in the middle of the hands as a turret. After that gets filled, it goes down my body, and after the initial red layer, like a tight suit goes down, you see silver splint metal layers covering beneath. Down lower, it continues as like a belt is formed around to separate the torso from the legs. As the legs continue down, a bit more splint. It's all silver and silver with red accents as boots are formed at the bottom. After that, you see it comes up to my neck, and you see kind of a red suit goes around my head, and you see armor is formed. You see that I have a space for my eyes and a little slit going down. That's red and has kind of just a metal. And out in the back, there's like two parts going up and away, and it is slick in the back.
Nice.
Very cool.
You will like. I guess first off, in the vision, did I see the armor beforehand?
I started with the armor.
Okay, so I guess you will just you will hear Talus be like, I see what that is now.
This is where my talent has sprung to, and it is for your thing. This is the magic of my person. Whatever magic there was before, this is like the flowing of it all, mainly through this.
Like this ship, it is impressive.
All right, I am gonna go through some of the catwalks. Can I tell what liquids are being stored that they're using?
Give me a blind or con check.
Gotcha. I'm on blind, right? Yeah, blind champ.
Yes, you can identify those liquids. So these are alchemical reagents used for cycling and purifying out the types of energy. It helps takes out impurities. To make a biological reference, it's the same way mucus works.
Yep.
Yeah, mucus.
Good, and you'll see that it has pipe work across what looks very obviously like the engine system. However, two complications. One, there are people walking around down here. They're in the distance. You know, they don't appear to see you. And Talus, as very like interesting, like the use of like the weave. The engines themselves do not look as majestic as one might think. They look more like a void. Like when you expect a stove to be hot, but it's actually cold. It's inverted.
Okay.
Like it is pulling from something as opposed to generating something.
Alrighty, that's the motors themselves.
The engines, yeah. The thing that's generating the power that's keeping this thing afloat.
Is it pulling stuff from what like you said before? We saw the weave was intertwined with the
circuitry. Yeah.
The then came down through the poles. Is this stuff connected to the poles, kind of a thing, or
no? So there is an output of it, but what it takes to like combustion generates is an outward action. This is like an inward action. Like whatever is going there, like something is imploding inside of the engine. The implosion is generating something that goes across the pipe works that appears to get purified by these liquids and then goes out through these circuits.
Okay.
So the visual from like
I will mention such things to Zephyr so that way he's aware of what I see.
so you relay that and Zephyr from like your perspective, that's a bit strange. Most engines would generate. Wow. So the engine itself, the work of it is very advanced. Right, so
I'll ask Zephyr if it appears dwarvish.
It is. Zephyr would know that.
I was going to say I probably could tell.
Yes,
it is. It gives a more rustic, which is more dwarven technology. It feels.
Give me a blind perception check, Zephyr, as this ship looks
no.
extremely dwarven, with one exception.
Oh.
Dwarves are ridiculously about order and efficiency. There are parts of the external chassis of this engine that look redundant. They look cruder, but more durable. That would be not a component that is dwarven.
Where's that part? Or is that like
It's a part of the engine. So things that look very dwarven. Enchant work, yes. Maybe not as artistic. That's some embellishment. The liquid and the alchemy, dwarven. Distribution switch system, dwarven. Engine, mostly dwarven. A couple components that do not appear to be not dwarven.
Can I look at the non-dwarven parts and kind of think about why it wouldn't be dwarven?
It could. It would require you to sneak closer with a stealth check.
Oh, I wish
it
I
is a
had
big engine,
armor.
but you're going to have to get close.
Yep, I'm going to go for it.
Okay.
You got this.
So, fun fact, I have splint armor, which gives you disadvantage. But with my armor, it cancels it out.
Yes.
Infiltrator.
The only downside is if I had normal armor, then I'd have advantage on this roll, which I do not.
Oh no! So you got normal.
So I just got a straight roll.
Okay. You appear to be doing your best Solid Snake impersonation up to this engine. No one appears to have noticed you. And Talus, you're doing like lookout wingman stuff, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Okay, so you got lookout. You have your advanced party. So you make it to the engine and the component that is curious. To go start looking at it, go roll me a blind investigation. All right, you're making your way over this engine and the parts that don't follow the design that a dwarf would use.
Ooh.
And you're going across one of them. It's something about it. Like, why would they use this specific metal? Doesn't make any sense. Why would they use anethysite alloy in this specific place? It would pull away from other things. It's like having heat distribution that's going to just put heat in the wrong parts of the engine.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're going through this, you hear the footsteps of someone else on the other side of the engine that you can't see. And they are getting closer. Talus, big blocky part, you do not see this person. This is only something Zephyr sees, or rather hears.
Okay.
I'm going to, from hearing where the steps are, hide on the. How big is this machine? Like, can I hide on the opposite side of this machine?
You can. It is big. It is very big. It is living room sized. It's large.
I'm gonna kind of go by hearing and go basically walk around the opposite side I can hear the steps on.
All right. You start either going clockwise if it's coming clockwise or counter if it's going counter.
Yep.
Go ahead and give me another stealth check to sneak around. Sneak around town. Mm-hmm. All right. You Pink Panther your way clockwise around this thing. Eventually, Talus, you see this motion, and the mechanic comes in view. It is a dwarf. And, in fact, there are two people. One dwarf who's making big hompy steps, Zephyr, that's what you're following, and a very light-stepped, wiry tiefling. And they are looking over the engine. The tiefling has a clipboard in its hand, not scroll, has a scroll in his hand, and the dwarf has this big old spanner wrench, and they're tightening a couple bolts.
Alrighty.
But your complication now is Zephyr. You're on between. Like, there's no escape route for you right now. Like, you're in the middle.
Have they gone past, or are they still kind of in that area?
They're in the area. So I'll use this ship as a frame of reference. If you think of Nox here as the... I wonder if I can make Nox gigantic. Maybe not. That would be too
It's
funny.
possible if you just believe.
Look.
We need the shrinker grow, whatever that's called.
the Gigano tool. Here, I'll make it. I'll make him a 6x6 floof. As you can see, he is giant. He's a big ass floof right now. Mm-hmm. So in this situation, you've got Talus, who's like doing oversight.
Yep.
And you have Zephyr, who just Metal Gear Solid around like this. And we will use Fen and Ren. And that's happening currently. And they're doing work.
Mm-hmm.
So they haven't seen you, but you can't quite go back.
I don't know what they look like.
No. You're just doing sound, from what I understand. Yeah.
Yep.
Talus can see them.
Talus seeing them will do two things. The first one is he'll reach kind of under his armor and pull out the symbol of Mistress so it's visible.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing he's going to do is, just subtly kind of step to the side so he's not like in direct sight to them if they turn around.
Right.
But he's not going to try to do anything like he's stealthy, like hiding from them. Like his whole response upon approach will be, well, of course he's down there. Why wouldn't he be?
Oh, okay. Like he belongs there.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Of course. Good confidence routine.
If you walk anywhere with confidence, you can probably get through it just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Just have to have that confidence.
All right. So a few minutes pass. Zephyr, what's your game plan? Hide out, move around.
I'm actually not sure how this is gonna go. I'm going. So the alloy, because you said that one was like a weird. Like I'm not fully sure how it's working there.
Right. It seems odd.
I'm gonna cast Identify on that piece and see if that gives me anything.
The piece is unfortunately onto a draw tool where they are now.
Oh, okay. So then
it's like there.
Yeah, because I have to touch it. So
yes, you do. Unfortunately, you have to touch it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that might be hot, but I'll take the risk for the information. So then I'll be paying attention to if I hear them walk, but I'm gonna look at different parts of the engine if I can get anything else.
Okay. Yep. Give me an investigation.
Or just how it's set up. Yeah.
Yep. Give me an Arcana. Give it an advantage because you're keeping an eye out in case you have to move.
I'll just roll it twice.
Yep. So every time you start looking at something, like they start making sounds or shifting around, like they might be coming around the corner, so you don't get a whole lot out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But after a period of time, they do go back to their regularly scheduled programming like this.
All right, and I'll try to. Boop, 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 boop. All right, and now that I can see they're out, I'm going to go to the alloy.
Okay.
Talon can watch me touch this and seemingly burning hot.
And that's the last we heard of Zephyr.
For the sake of science.
Now, you do know, as an artificer, Nethicite, very deadly to touch. Nethicite alloy, not deadly to touch. So
yeah, I was about to say, I'm like,
Yeah, I if I knew it would, like, destroy me, and hoping the armor takes part of the blow for me.
Science provides.
I am
All right.
going to cast Identify on the piece.
Fair enough. All right, you cast identification, and it is an enchantment.
Oh, not the private.
Yep. It is an enchantment, so that'd be a school of enchanting.
Mm-hmm.
But its basic function is to be abjurative. And upon touching it, you get a great understanding that plate is just one like tip of the iceberg. Like it is a panel to a larger encasing deeper within the engine itself. It is odd because there is no need to have a nethicite alloy enforced chamber with the way that dwarven airships function. It's there's no need for it. It's like having like radiation shielding where there's no radiation. That said,
okay.
You're an artificer and you know a bunch of things. So give me a blind arcana check to see what this makes the most sense to be a case for. Tip of your tongue, but nah, it seems like it's an abnormal design, but it is absolutely abnormal. As you do this, and absorbing this wonderful waterfall of lore, the Talus, you're closer to where you entered, right?
Yep.
You hear the door begin to open. Way ahead of schedule.
Okay. I will, I guess, doing Overwatch-y stuff, head on down and kind of, motion to Zephyr that someone's coming behind us.
All right.
Leonessa, congratulations, you're now a person in this scenario.
Gently give them what do you want to do, shrug.
I'll say I want to start moving around the engine itself and see if I can see like the other two people or if they're like gone.
Oh, they're gone. They're walking their way. They're merry way down the other side of the ship. So if you turn the corners, you'll see that they're on the other side of the ship.
All right, then I think we'll solid snake Leonessa.
You'll solid. Okay, so you solid. All right. So you go this other side of this gigantic engine block, this enclosure, and you see a person, a human, enter, look around, do like the John Travolta thing for just a moment, like what? Looks left, looks right. He goes over to one side. He picks up a pipe, and then he puts it over his shoulder, turns right around, and goes back out the door.
Okay. One last observation here. Do I notice those gems in the engine or around the engine, or is it that kind of a separate thing?
It's a separate thing. The way the engine works is it's a powerhouse, so it's producing a lot of energy to the distribution system. You start seeing the gem work after the liquid and the wiring. So this thing is you don't see the same type of gem work. You see more rods and alloys that are going to a system to distribute it.
Okay. All right.
So this thing is generating a epic ton of magical energy. Like Talus, if you were to go like focus sight, you'd be blinded. Like if this close this thing.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. I take note of the machine and some of the features of how it's connected. And I guess I'm ready to go back up.
Is there something in particular you're looking to get out of investigating the guts of the ship?
A bit of the engine is not fully replicating like this size, but being able to create something that creates a strong amount of energy that could either generate something or used like to fuel something.
Yes. So, again, smart being that you are, the problem with that dilemma is this engine block? Like, that's the big mystery. In fact, I'll probably put it as a quest for you. It's the amount of energy required to do like flight or fly on something this big. The spells and whatnot, the enchantment's not a problem. This is the
Yeah, this is the
this is the
I'm down
enigma,
here to see.
right? This is the enigma piece.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And you have 2 tidbits to your puzzle. The first one is
The alloy.
big old dwarven engineering
Mhm.
and nethicite alloy enclosure. And from what Talus told you, the way that the energy structure works, like it's not quite like a combustion engine. It's using a different means of generating the power.
Yeah. All right.
All seems balanced within the weave.
No, it does not seem balanced. Not. It seems. I wouldn't call it profane. I would say it is quite perverse. The way that the energy readings are coming off. Like, it's not sustainable. If someone was to take like a fireball to this thing, you'd have like a major problem.
Shocking grass, the alloy.
Well,
boom.
I know. I was asking more of, is this something that I see as, you said the energy is getting pulled into something. Is it damaging the weave, or is it?
It does leave a bit of residual effect. Yeah, it is damaging the weave. It's not damaging the weave to the point where it would cause a tear or something the weave can't heal itself with. But yeah, it's definitely not healthy for it. It's like an ecological issue with magic.
Okay. Alrighty.
All right. I guess with this information, I'm ready to go back up.
Okay. You have no problem stealthing back. You got a clear view. It is a less past area, so no one bothers you. No guards teleport to interrupt your passage. You are
right.
back to the cabins.
And I armor down.
Armor down.
Thank you for coming with me.
I also wanted to witness what exactly drives this. It looks it was a little disturbing in some things I witnessed, but well, nothing that the weave can't handle.
Mm-hmm. Especially if we recreate it. All right. Now the bar is where he said he'd be. As I start taking out back to where he came from.
Yep.
Especially if we do it ourselves, right? This is fine. That's
just a homemade like nuclear reactor. It's all good. What could happen?
That's a discussion for another time.
I'm already going toward the bars.
Oh, you're going to the bar? Oh, fuck! I'll go along. I'll go along once again to observe.
He wants to talk with Dante.
Alice, I think you'd be better off with Leonessa for now.
Oh no!
Good luck, my friend.
Thank you.
Bless you. And he'll go back to Leonessa.
Oh, poor Zephyr. You're doing so.
Sweet summer
Go
child.
to the bar.
All right. At this point, you have noticed that not only is Mr. Leon at the bar, he has managed to get the musicians to play something very upbeat and got people dancing outside the bar. So drinks are flowing, people are dancing. This ship, like, you can still see like New Haven in the background. And when he sees Zephyr approaching, he stops dancing, his dance partner, grabs their drink, hands it to Zephyr. My friend, you return.
Thank you so much. I thought I was going to get you a drink.
The night is still young. He points to the horizon. It is quite a lot of time. And lots points the bar of drinks. Yet.
I haven't had many of these. And I start to take a sip.
And then he like, just as you're drinking, like everyone's having a jolly good time with this, he gets another drink, like from the waiter, and then hands you another one. I'm like, no, why not have two? And the waiter like gives him a look. And he gives the waiter a look. Then he gives Zephyr a look. Everyone gets a
Thank
look.
you. And I just look at him and I look at the drink and I say, thank you. And I take the other drink.
All right, so how
Poor
much?
Zephyr.
Yeah, how much does Zephyr
Oh.
drink? Like on like a Zephyr level? Like is he like I go to the tavern once a week? Like every now and then? Is he drink
He's,
like a dwarf?
Maybe once a month he'll have a single drink.
Okay,
Oh,
I need
no.
a Constitution saving throw.
Oh.
Make that one blind.
There you go.
Beautiful. Okay. So you get through your first drink. I need another Constitution saving throw. You are what every single person in D&D wants to do at least once in session. You are trashed in 2 drinks. Whatever is in there, it is strong. Or you believe it's strong. You're a lightweight. So you're not quite like slurring, but you are blurry and swaying a little bit. At this point, Mr. Leon, Dante Leon, notices this. It's like, Zephyr, was it not?
Yeah.
Come. He ushers you to the bar. Tell me, what is a personage such as yourself doing on this? He's like, has like this, it's not good enough. Like this sheep. You seem like you are destined for greater things.
That's what my friend just told me.
You have a very wise, smart, and friend with a good set of eyes.
Yeah. Talon is good.
Talon! I don't think Talus ever introduced himself.
Nope.
Nope.
No.
Talon! You say Talon, so you exert a bit. Like, Talon, you say.
Yeah.
Is that is that your, friend from earlier?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm
Rough
so
time.
very-
Rough time with Talon? Does he not listen to you?
Well, he's not. Sometimes. I met him. I've known him for a bit. We haven't like talked like super much, but it's always been good.
If you were to talk to Talon, what would you tell him?
I tell
And he slides another drink and like, tell Dante Leon. Just let your woes be free, like the birds in the sky. He like points out to like a bird that's like flying in the sky.
there is a bird there.
There's a bird. There it is. It is the sky. There are many birds, Zephyr.
I love being in the sky. I'd like to go back to the sky eventually.
Back to the sky. Have you been to the sky? Perhaps one of the planes where the sky is nothing but the sky. Sky for as much as the sky can sky. Zephyr.
And even in this state, you still see, out of like the giggling, there's a kind of a stern look. I need to go there.
You need like Dante looks to take this very seriously. Like you've told him, like your cat's ill. Like need to. What? Please, that's of dire import. Why is it so important to you, Zephyr?
I need to find my dad.
Your dad. And like he definitely sobers up a little bit. That he nods his head. Were you close to your dad?
I was too young to know him really.
At this point, Dante grabs Jing's like, I too did not know my father very well, but I do remember his face. He was a good man, I hear. If there is anything I can do, he like puts like a hand on your shoulder, gets close like this. Anything I can do, Zephyr, you let Dante know.
You see a smirk comes out and he's like, is his face nice like yours?
It is just as charming. So he openly floats back with you.
And he gave me the drink, I'll take some of it.
Excellent.
Poor Zephyr. All dead. You're
Con
doing so
save.
good.
Oh yeah, yeah. Con save. One more con save. Beautiful. So he does the whole entire like leaning close. Things are about to get heated. You get really excited, and your head hits the counter. So Zephyr, you assume that this night is going fantastic. You're also drinking.
Oh no.
I don't.
Also,
Yes.
Mhm.
I was about to say the Leonessa and Talus.
yeah, Talus and Leonessa have decided that maybe they need to go and just be nearby in case something were to happen.
Okay.
Not
So
interrupt, not to interrupt the conversation, but just be close by in case some shenanigans happen.
fair enough. So the because it takes time for alcohol to get through your system, and I imagine you're having a candid conversation. You will go to check up on Zephyr about the time that Dante is arm over shoulder, like helping drunk friend around, doing Weekend at Bernie's thing with Zephyr, who is Weekend at Bernie's, Noodle Cat.
Does he have his eyes open? Is he like
he
awake? Or is he passed
well,
out?
I mean, no. Does Zephyr have like a set of goggles, like mechanics goggles or anything? Does he go into that
He does-
artificer trope at all?
So he does like technically I could have made the night vision goggles. I didn't think he would. I think when he would be doing his tinkering he would. So in his bag there probably are, but
Beautiful.
in normal day he wasn't wearing them. But he could maybe in conversation brought it up and took them out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like they're showing off things
Trying to
like
show off.
Oh yeah, it's like
Yeah.
look what I can do. I'm cool. Like look at me. And so he will absolutely Weekend at Bernie's Zephyr. Like Zephyr doesn't, you don't know because he's got really cool goggles on. Dante is helping him around.
Just because, I mean, me as a player, I understand Dante's existence. Would Leonessa have ever come across him at any point or be aware of his existence?
So remind me of Leonessa's travels, because one, Talus is dead on. Like Dante Leon is a storybook character's name from a book. So there's that.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, she travels mainly in the woods, like along like the trade routes. She would go into the cities that were, touching those because she'd be able to have like sanctuaries and stuff nearby there. So that's when she'd be able to go into the cities and everything. And she's been alive for a while. So
yeah. So you would, but your version of Dante Leon has some gaps. Because some big gaps. So Nexus would remember it because of the airship that crashed. That was a Dante's, but that would make Dante like 50 or 60. This guy has great skincare routine, but he looks like the 20s. He's a charismatic,
right,
Captain Jack Sparrow looking guy.
And so like she'll kind of. Well, they can't tell that Zephyr's like passed out, right? He's just living his life.
He's living his life, having a good dance routine with Dante, as Dante is like getting him to a lawn deck to relax on.
So yeah, like seeing that, like Leonessa will look to Talus, like, is that the guy?
Talus will nod.
Okay. And so like Leonessa will smile, seeing that like Zephyr is functioning but doesn't seem quite. I mean, I imagine like even if you Weekend at Bernie's, they don't look like they're with it. They don't. It's a slumped body.
The air quote dancing has some footwork that's lacking at the moment.
Yeah. And so she'll look and she'll kind of like walk over, be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't want to interrupt. I just wanted to check on my friend here. I'm sorry, what was your name?
He like holds Zephyr like somewhat like possessively, like I will protect him, and like runs his fingers through his hair. Like Zephyr, your dream's amazing, by the way. Your dream is just like top tier. And looks to Leonessa, and you asked his name, right?
Yes.
Like, shh. This is quiet time. I would not belabor. If it was us, I would not do this to him. And then he kind of like looks at you, and you're an elf, and he's like, unless you are offering to cut in with Dante Leon and Zephyr, the master tinkerer, brilliant man. He's got a lot on his mind right now.
And when he's asking if he's cutting in, is he referencing, is she going to come and start dancing with him?
Yes.
Or, yep. So she looks, like, I feel like she has enough, like, instinct to see that, Zephyr's not fully with it. So she'll look to Dante, and she'll, smile very charismatic, and be like, I'd love to cut in.
Great. And then this is ye olden dancing, so it's like y'all just get together and move around. You're not gonna do like the electric slide on the ship.
No, but you'd see that like
Joe.
I mean, Zephyr, right? You're right.
But like Leonessa is looking at like Zephyr and Talus, and she's kind of like giving as much like signal as she can of like Talus to be like, get him in a chair, put Zephyr seated with water.
Talus will come over. He'll gently touch Zephyr and say, "My friend, you seem to have had a bunch, but that's all right, because Our Lady of Spells, remove this affliction from your ally, and I'll cast lesser restoration."
Oh no. Well, the good news is that lesser restoration absolutely will purge you of your drunken state,
no.
Zephyr. The bad news is that your dream was getting great, and someone just threw water and sobered you up at the same time. And you're currently like somewhat dancing with Dante and Leonessa, and like Talus fixes you. You're up, bud. You're awake.
What? Wait, what? I put my hand on my head. Wait, what just? Hi guys. What are you doing here, Talus?
You told me to go speak with Leonessa, and well, she wanted to have a drink too, and she saw you stumbling over here with this guy.
Well,
Dante Leon.
what do you say?
He when he says like corrects like a person in the background like Dante Leon.
Well, yeah, we were just talking as I like lean against him. And we're doing great. So bye now. And I like put my hands like to shoot him off.
And then Dante looks at Zephyr like, and then looks at Leonessa. Did he just undo the good? It's okay. We all looks at us like we all make mistakes, Talion. It's okay. Perhaps you should join us. We have many days until Nexus. Why not be friendly?
Yeah, we're having a great time.
Talus.
Leonessa kind of looks at Zephyr, like as is happening, seeing that they're trying to like pile on to Talus, and she's like, Zephyr, how much of that were you actually conscious for?
I remember a lot of things.
Do you remember them physically happening?
It felt physical.
That's not the question. And you know that's not the question I'm asking. Do you remember them happening?
To my memory, I do.
And how many beverages did you have with Dante, right?
Leon?
I had a few. I had like 3, and like I don't really have one, so like it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. I just
And I feel
You're-
fine right now.
and like I said, like she's listening and just like, you know, you're on a ship. I have not met this person before. I don't think you've met this person before.
Dante
And
leans
you're
in.
drinking three drinks at one time.
I'm Dante
And
Leon.
you
Dante
she's like, yes,
Leon.
Dante Leon, which, by the way, and you're on this airship. The only Dante I remember, or I've ever hearing in my 130 years of life, was one that seemed to have crashed an airship.
Look, Dante like puts his hands up and then behind his head. When learning to fly these majestic things, it's inevitable to have a bump or two along the way. I think it is not important to focus on the crashes and tribulations that happen, but the adventure that happens when sailing across the crest of the canopy into dangerous ruins. No? He like has the whole exaggerated hand gestures that goes along with this.
Life is an adventure, Leonessa.
It's an adventure.
And it's like, I
Do you not
I don't
like
want the
adventure? Do you not like adventure, Leonessa?
was like, that's not what I'm saying. And she looks
What?
to like Zephyr very sincerely. She's like, I just don't want you to get into an adventure that you might not be able to come back from. He looks to Dante because she's
Yeah, Dante looks to Zephyr and then looks like, oh, he'll come back from it. Just fine.
and like Leos will look at like Talus and Zephyr and she'll be like, we'll be over there. She's like slowly walks to like a corner of the bar. She's like, she's not leaving the bar, but she will let them have time. She's like, if this is what you really want, okay.
Dallas will follow her and sit down and
She's like, we are not your parents, but we will be here.
I know you're like shaming the hell out of Zephyr for having a good time.
Walks back and he's still crossing his arms as he sits down in the seat, just staring right at them, facing towards them.
Dante dances with Ryza. So as you powwow, it's like water off of his back. He's just having a good time.
And I will enjoy in the dances.
We're just dancing and like Talus and Leoness are just like, they're just children just running around doing shit. I mean, from Leoness's perspective, she just saw Zephyr being very unconscious, and she's like, can you control if something happens? Like, are you okay?
I mean, to him, he was just having a good time, and then...
That's fair. Talus did take him out of, like, a happy dream.
Yeah.
He's like, I was having a good time.
10 out of 10.
I was told sober him up, and I did.
Mr. Provided.
The most effective sobering up. Like, stop it.
Well, let me ask you this. The first day on the airship is wrapping up. Is there anything else you would like to do or resolve before we do a fade to black for the next day? And that'll be a pretty good time for wrap up, actually.
Yeah, because like it'll give enough time.
Mm-hmm. It'll give good time for Ren to pop back into before we do the next, we'll call it a major event on this airship.
Gosh.
Well, now that I am sobered up
against your will,
against my will, I don't know if he offered me more drinks.
Hey, Deb. I always assume Dante is going to offer you more drinks, dance, and wonderfully bad decisions.
Well, I'll definitely take at least one drink.
All right, you won't get stone drunk off the one drink, but you'll be in a good place.
I just see Zephyr right now as like a rebellious teenager. He's like, oh, I'll have enough to drink. It's just
He
One.
kind of never was able to go through that phase of his life.
Yeah.
he's like,
Maybe he kind of
Yeah,
is.
He's got
I love
freedom.
it works so well, but yeah, it just seems like a rebellious teen. Like, yeah, I'm gonna drink more now. I'm gonna drink even more that you guys are here. How's
Don't
that
take me
feel?
on the cruise if you don't want to have fun, guys.
It's a carnival after.
Yeah. Here's Dante.
You know, the kind of funny thing is, he gave me all the drinks. I never bought him a drink.
Well,
As far as you know.
yeah.
That's true. We'll check my inventory the next time. I would say, I mean, the thing is, how hard would he push more drinks on me?
If people will drink them, Dante will push him on there. Even no doesn't really work on him on that aspect. Like, he's going to try to get everyone to drink.
That would be his issue, because Zephyr would maybe once say, "Oh, I don't know."
Oh,
And then if
yeah,
he
he'd go in for
But if he
blood.
presses a little.
So I don't
He'd
know.
probably be drunk again.
I don't know if he. I don't know if he would stop.
No.
Oh,
That's
no.
great. Ryza will drink with you. She's a carpe diem kind of girl. What about Leonessa? Would Leonessa be like Overwatch?
She's in mom mode now.
Mom mode.
She saw how like unconscious he looked. So she's like maybe drinking like some mead, but just
Okay.
one glass, and she's nursing it.
She's nursing it.
Well, I mean, I would say that I did mention in the conversation I only had 3 drinks and I was in this state.
Of whatever he gave you.
Mm-hmm.
She just doesn't. She doesn't. She's just worried about a situation where he will be unconscious, and then, bad things will happen. So she's just intense mom mode.
Well, you can see me have 1 drink, and then you see he gives me another one, and you see me kind of wave my hand no, and he does it again, and I take it.
It's right. Perfect. So
Yep. Well,
back to having a good time and Bernieing.
Did I roll to see if I?
No. We can just roleplay. Okay. Like you basically, he will keep feeding you drinks until you're like back at that state and having a good time. You won't. So because you're being watched by mom and dad, not to the point of getting like alcohol poisoning, but he also does not appear to be doing what I'm assuming Talos like is he trying to pick his pockets. Doesn't appear to be. Just getting everyone drunk. Well, Leonessa it resists, and I think Talos isn't drinking, right?
Yeah, like I imagine Leonessa and Talos are both like, no, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first day. We do not know this man.
And I think it'll be a fantastic segue because we can explain to Ren, there's a reason why parts of this were fuzzy. It's because once you got on, you got pressured into a lot of drinking, and you're waking up with a hangover.
There you go.
Oh yeah, because I bet Ryza made him drinks.
Right, because Ryza
yeah,
is just like little hobbit or a little halfling version of Dante in that aspect. Yeah.
So Ren and I are both awkwardly here when there's the party.
Yep. And when we start next session, like both Zephyr and Ren will be like waking up with like this wicked hangover. And since Talos has like done the nice thing of cleaning up, I'm not too sure how if he's gonna do it a second time. We'll close out there and we'll start next session en route to Nexus. We do have an event that I want to make sure everyone's here for.
I will say that in that state, Zephyr probably does a little magic.
Oh, that's beautiful.
With like prestidigitation, he might put light on like a drink or whatever cup.
He is a magic user having a good time.
I'm not gonna lie, I really want Zephyr to do like a laser pointer sort type of thing.
For Nox?
For Nox.
Are you letting Nox on the top deck during this time? I guess you have to because he's been 30 feet of you.
Yeah. He can't be far away from me, so yeah.
Beautiful.
He would definitely do that.
Yeah, like I just imagine that people would like, go.
you will notice that Dante has a very good time with all of this and is nothing but an instigator for a good time. Motives? Question mark. But has a good time.
Now the question is, do they bring me to my room? Where do I go at the end of the night?
Well, yeah, there's a few options there. You can definitely end up faded black in Dante's room, if that's what you're asking.
Well, will mom and dad be okay?
That is a good question.
I don't know if mom and dad will let me go. Take the sleepover.
How cognizant does he seem?
I would
How
say
with it?
I'm probably at like the 2 drink. Oh, well, it actually depends.
If three tequila is floor,
Mm-hmm.
and 2 is
2 was the Dizzy Talon.
Dizzy Talon.
Tails.
Dizzy Talon was at, I think that was at 2.
That was 2.
Yeah,
So I'm probably at a 2.
at a 2. 2 or 3. 2/3 to floor.
2, yeah.
I'd say like at 2, Lena, so like she saw again, she's worked with Zephyr before, but she doesn't want to like force him to do stuff that she wants him to do. So she'll be very concerned, but she will not stop him.
What if? Oh, well, I can't. No, I can't say that right now. Well,
Mm.
No, I'm not going to say anything.
Fair enough.
There's a smart play, but that's a meta play.
Oh.
I see.
Perfecto. Dude, perfecto, not meta. And Talus, I'm assuming, is just along for watching this shenanigans unfold.
Oh, he said that sometimes a lesson needs to be learned the hard way.
That's Discord.
That's what. Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's just At this point, he's Talus isn't that experienced in many things, but he does have a certain amount of wisdom that he's gained over the years through study, and he doesn't trust this guy at all. So, but he's at this point he tried to do everything he could to help his friend, and so at this point, as long as Leonessa is okay with it, he's not going to step back in.
She, as much as I know I've mentioned that she will be the party mom, she is not his mom. And like it's just not her place to stop him. But yeah, so she'll kind of have the same approach of like, we try to stop it, we did what we could, let him go. Let him do his thing.
All right, then I would go with him.
All right. Well, you have yourself a fantastic evening. And that's a perfect time for a fade to black, and we'll do tomorrow with we'll say the results. And I would say that Zephyr and Ren be waking up with different types of hangovers. But
Interesting.
we will go right into after talk. We are going to end a little bit early. Again, fantastic role playing as usual. There is a soon to be like declared combat encounter, but we'll get Ren caught up before we go ahead and do all that. I had a blast. Let's do favorite moments. Doing top the down. Leonessa, what was your favorite moment?
Let's see. There's a lot of really good ones.
Always a
it's hard
struggle.
because I'm not sure if I would say that there was like a specific moment that I would say is my favorite moment, more as a thing that I noticed us all doing that I really enjoyed. And that was, you could tell in like as we're like role playing together, doing stuff together, we all stepped back to let someone else essentially like breathe and kind of take the spotlight. Like I noticed that a lot. Like Talus, you were doing it like in Zephyr, and like I know like I was doing it too. It was just nice to see that it didn't feel like a competition for attention. It was just like, you do what you need to do. Go ahead. Like it's your time to shine. So it was honestly just really nice to see that. To see everyone just like allowing like the ebb and flow of interaction.
Yeah.
Like the Zephyr thing, I was only really hopping in on that to try to cover him if he got caught, kind of a thing.
Yep.
Why I was going along. I mean, obviously, I'd want to see what I see, but at the same time, like it was more of a, alrighty, this is not a go off on your own kind of a thing.
Do not
Yeah,
split
like-
the party. Yeah.
Yep.
Like, I think it's one of those things. I honestly think that doing the combat last week was really helpful because I think now we have a better understanding of how we fit in
Mhm.
with like what are things that we would focus on. So it was just, I don't know, it was just nice. There was a difference between this session and like the first when we were like all like meeting each other session. So I don't know, it was just nice to see. I just really enjoyed that.
Okay. Yeah. No, I completely concur with that. That was a very like the DNA or the fabric of the session was very fluid, and everyone had
I'm
a
sorry.
lot of time to shine.
Sorry.
What are you apologizing for? How dare you have a good time? That's not what we come here.
Oh no! Oh,
What are we for?
my phone just went off and made a really loud sound. I didn't know if you guys heard it. It
I
was
didn't-
just like
I didn't hear it.
it started playing very loudly. I came in like a wrecking ball.
Oh,
I
How
was like, oh no, I'm
appropriate.
sorry.
for Mr.
Whose
Leon.
ringtone is that?
Yeah, that'll be the real question when I turn off the stream. Talus, what was your favorite moment?
Well, it was probably in a couple lines into my conversation with Leonessa when I realized she had no clue that she and her pet had this illness.
It's like, what?
And I've known this for a couple weeks now, and like, oh shit! Like he didn't tell her that at all. My God.
Nope. Yeah, she's like, oh, something weird is going on with Nox. That's fine. I'm like, oh, I'm sick. Hold on. Oh,
Yeah.
What is that? House MD? What was that guy? That was the
house.
Yeah. it was
no,
awesome.
his friend that talks like cancer patients. I want to say it's an oncologist, but that might not be the right ologist.
Well, no.
Oh,
Answer.
oh,
Is it? Okay.
what's the guy's name?
I don't. That's where I'm struggling with.
Meaning because it's supposed to be like he's Watson. That's now this is gonna bother me.
Okay.
I'm going to find it.
Basically, tell us you got to be that person.
Yeah.
The person whose name we can't remember. I'm sorry, whoever that actor is.
Wilson.
Wilson.
James Wilson.
That
There we
would
go.
I wasn't gonna remember that because I think Wilson. I think like Tom Hanks cast away.
Yeah, we all think of a
Wilson.
volleyball.
Sorry, Wilson. All right, cool. Zephyr, what was your favorite moment?
I feel like there's a lot. One thing that I thought was fun to start dipping in that I didn't get too much was like when I was at stage 2
Yeah.
and he mentioned like the sky and I was like I thought that was a fun tidbit to go into a little bit backstory stuff
Yeah.
and trying to tie stuff like that.
Their pseudo meta. There is a lot to pull on there between what that person has going on and what Zephyr has going on. They have a lot in common. It was not coincidental that Dante was hitting on Zephyr. Yeah. But I was no, it's Dante. He's where fun exists, he is.
Would you guys like to know a fun Dante fact?
Oh, is it cat facts? Go ahead.
Well, and this is all out of character, but because I know he mentioned something about Dad. Because when I was grabbing like a drink and stuff, I still had my headset in. So Dante's dad was was, I don't know the current situation of it because we haven't been into the shadow market yet, but he was the handler / is the handler.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
And
There's a whole bunch of trauma around that. I just don't know how much.
And his sister was the songstress that played the
Yep.
piano and did the aria of souls from Persona series. Singing, yeah.
Ooh.
So very connected to the shadow market, the Dante that Leonessa is speaking of, and the father
Yeah.
and sister.
So a good connection for the group. You're welcome.
Unfortunately, I don't think it is as much of a connection as it could be. Because I don't think Dante really knows or goes to see him. If I remember, I can't fully remember like the situation of why it is the way that is, but yeah, I don't think they're close.
It's speaking of like past lore, mind you,
Yeah.
because this is a storybook character. Like the way it was very framed up for, like, this is a name that anyone that picked up the book, like Dante Leon and like Pirates of the Caribbean Ghost Ship Adventures, could just read this and pick it up. That said, the Dante you're talking about couldn't visit his folks because it was all part of a deal.
That was it. Okay, yeah. Like I knew, I don't think he could see them, but I couldn't remember exactly why.
Yeah, the father was not able to be aware of his existence. The sister was, but couldn't speak of it. And Dante was unaware that he had family because he was an orphan with Clyde, and Clyde is the name of the person who's like regional manager of death affairs in Aurora.
Yeah.
So interesting. Dante facts.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now that we've had like nice ones, let's go into like the grit, some crunchy stuff, criticisms, anything that you didn't see that you wanted to see, anything that was not explored or was not explored enough, feedback for building additional content that is tailored to everyone having a good time or your experience having a good time. Starting walking down, Leonessa.
I mean, honestly, I had a good time, so there wasn't really anything that was missing. It was nice to see, Dante come back. But for the most part, it was just a lot of us, exploring the new area that we were in and coming in and just getting a better feel for what the world was like. So I had no qualms on my end.
Okay, fair enough. If that ever changes, if you want to do it private, if you shoot me a DM. Talus.
Well, I was a little frustrated we lost Fen.
I was at the minute of. I will say that like every human being has like resources. Like I know that as an introvert, I have a social battery. It lasts like 4 hours. That definitely started off on a weird foot to recover from, but yeah.
It's weird because he and I went back and forth a bunch the past couple days. Like I like one of my things was to talk to him, not for the same reason I talked to Leonessa, but something similar. And
because he's also from like the Fae.
And I so like he and I like kind of discussed a bunch of things for that. So that's what really threw me. I was like,
it's like we were playing on what?
Yeah. I out of character, because I know that's part of like a Zephyr's and Enigma piece, and I stand by, like, puzzles are not meant to be in the main path. They're like enriched, they're optional, like they add to. But a big part of the engine Enigma has to do with Fen and things that were going on with Fen. So like when you're doing all the same, like crap, I don't think that there is going to be organic context clues. I'll have to figure this out between the next session.
Yeah.
But that did suck. I will also point out something I didn't mention. Like Talus did a fantastic job of like binding everyone's interests together. This session especially.
Oh yeah.
And the lore stuff. Like the stuff with Fricks was pretty good too, because he's not socially savvy, but he is a character that has existed for a while, and he's seen some shit go down.
He's seen so much shit.
Yeah. The past facts was that season 1 was legitimately almost a reboot of similar scenarios. Because we always need to reboot great series. That is exactly what happens to a character's brother when he was talking about Willis Targaryen. Is doing almost the exact same thing Talus did, but did the Ned Stark thing, like truth will be my shield, and it backfired hard. So the interesting lesson learned from 10 seasons ago was that a person actively like went on their instinct to just prevent it, even if they're absolutely wrong. What is 2 weeks?
And yeah, that one definitely threw me for a loop on that because the whole time I was kind of wondering like how does that work, and it was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I guess already. Okay, yeah, I can go with that.
Yeah, it's the interesting that what is it? There's what is it? I was a teenage exocolonist. Does it well too, but the characters have their own agency, and we do that a lot here. We've been doing that for a few years. So like from Frix's perspective, he would rather do something on shakier grounds than watch something else unfold. And he knew, as a person of logic, that you're legitimately making good cases, but does not want you to go back and doesn't know how to convince you because he's not that type of person. It was Again, well played. It was D&D is supposed to be messy. It was messy. It was beautiful.
I did have a question because I was taking notes on the thing that Frix was talking about, and I think I missed like the first portion of it. So I'm gonna kind of tell you what I have. Just let me know like what I missed because I feel like I missed.
Sure.
Frix was talking about that there was a. What I got was that there was like a potion that was being made that was going to be a binding agent, and it was potentially going to be spreading either Sundew or Stardew sickness.
Stardew. So what he
Stardew,
mentioned
okay.
was that there is other research that was going on, and the temples of Ogma, which is knowledge and very scientific, and Mystra, which is magic, and also very like, I guess you say like different phases of science, like biology versus physics,
Mathematical.
Mathematical. So they're very integrated, like magical sciences at the temples. That said, he had overheard that they found a way to bind Stardew to a liquid, and liquid naturally potent.
Okay.
But
that's what I was trying to figure out. Because I'm like, I know there was like a thing. Okay.
Which has its applications. Like that means that you could scrub it if it was from an area, because you could bind it and safely transport it. It means you could weaponize it. So it really depends on who uses this knowledge and how.
Yeah, like who can get a hand on it. And then because they're probably been doing experiments on it, if something goes wrong, you want to have the researchers out of there so it can't get pinned on them. For
exactly. When those sorts of things happen, that's when they
okay.
round up the scientists and they make sure you can't be resurrected because they burn you.
This is just for Stardew, not Sundew, right?
This is just for Stardew, yeah.
And studying both because he believes both of them. Like he believes. I'm not saying it's right, but he believes
that they're like linked somehow.
That they're linked as a reaction to severe damage to the weave.
And if you look, let me see if I can't copy the image. And if you look at where the symptoms occur, there's reason to believe that they are related. I'll put this in season 11. Like the left side is where you typically see Sundew in the barren area. You just cross a natural barrier, the mountains, and you see a lot of Stardew.
Okay.
And so what you say?
I was about to say, it's like not to get too off track. I'll make sure I get like your feedback too, Zephyr, on things that could make the session better, like things that we went deep into but like didn't quite satisfy the thing or detracted from for future sessions.
I mean, I felt like I did a lot this session. I felt like I got further in multiple categories, some planned on that I wanted to do, like see the engine, some not planned on, like Dante.
Everything Dante related, yeah.
No one plans on Dante.
No one plans on Dante.
So I felt like everything I wanted, and like almost more, like I was very much only expecting the engine to learn stuff, but even seeing the gems in the walls gave me information. Looking at the floors, I feel like I don't even have to go down there to figure stuff. I could go like probably to the top deck now and look up more things that could give me more hints about what I could use and to do it. So I've gotten a lot of information.
Cool.
And then fun side character.
So the lore, the socialization, like the interactions, short of combat exploration, like top tier stuff this session. So 10 out of 10. We do have a little bit of extra time because we closed session early for proper pace.
I was gonna say I don't think you answered.
Of what?
Or what was your favorite part? Or
that's a good question. I don't want to repeat something that was already said, but my favorite part a lot was watching people bind together. Like I called out like Talus, like taking the initiative to and finding ways to connect, and then be I am primary role or I'm supporting role. That ebb and flow is magical. There's the only word I can put it. Like that was very, to me, like the favorite part as a dungeon master. If I pull away from that and went more like nuance, Dante is always a blast to play. He is a very fun NPC, and so is Frix. The other reasons I didn't get a chance to do much with Ryza, I feel like DMs are a conglomerate or NPCs sometimes, but I want to save that for Ren's back.
For when Ren
I
is
was gonna
here,
say,
yeah.
without Ren, it's harder. Yeah.
Yeah, not only
It's
that, like it's a
just kinda
special thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked how much we used the side conversation when
Yeah.
other things are going on. I thought that was very good.
I love that. Like when we paid as like part of the table DNA is like use that. And then when I glance over when I'm done, a lot of us are DMs, like doing the ball juggling act of DM improv stuff, and like looking over, like seeing all that text, I'm like, awesome, because I know that when you do have multiple scenes or just not the active person, ways of staying like engaged and involved, which was just it's amazing. We have a fantastic group this season. I'm very grateful for it.
Yeah.
Also enjoyed Leoness's response when I let her know that she worships Mistra.
Yeah,
That was so funny.
that was, and that was, and Zephyr, I was having a lot of fun with the wordplay on like the mysteries. Like that just kept on going. It was like dad puns for like ever.
The Mistra.
the Scooby, the mystery.
The music.
God.
What was the first one? Was like the Broadway near you, the Book of Mistra.
Made me laugh.
I was trying so hard not to laugh during that entire time. I had to lean back from my mic. Unsolved Mysteries. Was it? Oh no! Because for the stream, when we go back and listen to our voices. Next, what was it? Talos looking over something will happen. Call that the Mr. Witness. Next on Unsolved Mysteries. Oh no, Scooby, the ghosts are running away to the mystery machine. It's mysterious.
Well, I'd like to believe that now everyone remembers Mistra is my goddess.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like now it's gonna happen. No more.
Oh, did I also hear that? What's his name? Fricks also believes in Ogma.
He's a cleric of Ogma. Yeah.
Yeah. So that means Ren and him are of Ogma.
Oh, did I read that as Ren also?
Because that was in our quiz show about Ren.
About
No,
Ren?
Fricks. It was.
Oh,
Fricks.
it was about Frick. Okay.
I was like, I didn't think I had that written down.
Yeah, I was so confused. I was like, oh, Ren. Okay, that makes more sense. Because like, why is he of knowledge?
And interesting.
Like Ren, but why?
And Talos did a pretty interesting call up because in the grand like ecosphere, asking Frick's questions, not to be like Deus Ex Machina NPC, but he is a knowledge cleric. Yeah, his whole entire thing is knowing shit.
Yeah.
So having him around is bueno. Hopefully nothing happens to your precious NPCs.
We'll try to help save them.
One thing I didn't cover, and I'm gonna wait till again Ryan gets here, is that the ship does have evacuation craft. I didn't want to go over it this session and then like repeat it out next, but people do understand that there's some nervousness to it. It's effectively a craft that would detach, survive landing, have rations, and send out like a beacon so people can go rescue them because you're not.
I mean,
in
I
water.
imagine they have. How similar is like leaving to like flying on an airplane nowadays? Is there a safety video, or does someone come around?
There's not a safety video. I did make the pseudo TSA scene encounter joke thing, but like it's not. I enjoyed that, by the way.
Your seat cushion can be used as a flotation device.
Right.
To smack into a mountain in the water. So.
Oh my god! It was when he said, "Oh, you have featherfall," and I'm like, I don't have a featherfall. All of us.
Not helping.
Math, like, hold on.
I had a lot of fun messing, even with Leonessa a little bit about him not realizing like the tone they had. So like talking about not having a feather falls, talking about if I learn how we can do this, we can always fly and never go through the forest.
It plays in so well with your stat block too, like to a T. Like it's so good because your character is a little in that aspect like oblivious. It not reading the room.
Yeah.
I
It's like, look how fast we can go, and she's like, I don't.
make good choices like, wouldn't I need wisdom for that?
Mhm. So since we're gonna be waking up in the room, my meta good thing was take my bag.
Uh-huh.
But no, I didn't give it to you before, and there's no reason for me to
No.
before
No,
to
no.
give it to you. So
That's a problem for a different day.
yeah.
Yep.
That's what I was thinking. Like, oh shit, I should have given my bag, but whatever.
You mean in this
Set me off.
situation,
I was
you'd
like,
be
"Oh,
drunk. Would you
ready?"
think about doing it?
Nope.
Yep. It fits the story more. It's like he wouldn't think to do it.
And like Zephyr's point of view from it is Zephyr's never really been drunk. Zephyr's had some drinks. Like he understands what being drunk is, but never experienced it. He had a few, was having fun, hanging out with someone he found attractive. And then when he blacked out, he was still dreaming, so he was still having a good time. So like, there was never a point of concern for him. And he was like starting to get some of the hints from Leonessa in the conversation, but ultimately is easily persuaded.
he is, yeah. Not only that, and with your background and being so high up in the air, like the bird reference and everything, like this is probably like a high point of elation for Zephyr. Like,
Oh yeah.
don't harsh the mellow. This was the best I got out of that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, like, and honestly, the situation, I imagine probably Talus and Leonessa think very similarly on it, because she's very much of like she's gonna tell you, like, be like, hey, are you sure you want to do this? And she won't abandon you, but she won't force you. She won't be like, no, you have to do this because I say. So she's like, are you sure this is what you want? You were blackout drunk. It's like,
And also for Zephyr to finally have a moment of relaxing and having fun that he has not had at all.
Yeah, thinking about Zephyr's backstory, absolutely. Like that's got to find ways to decompress all that.
So
Yep.
this is a first real decompression in years and years. What, 9 years thinking of his backstory?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I am not gonna lie though, knowing that the only information that Leonessa has of a Dante is one that destroyed an airship is not instilling confidence in the situation.
I mean,
Where there's
technically the Dante you knew crashed two. Dante was only talking up the one.
I was really thinking of tying in a way of like, this is the 5th ship. They crash all the time.
They crash all the time.
It's not gonna help later.
But the Vengrin was crashed. The very first Vengrin was crashed during season 5 with the battle with Vine, if you recall. The second one was crashed in season 6.
I mean, I just like the concept that like it's called the Vengrin 5, but I think like Leonessa just assumed like, oh yeah, you build multiple Vengrin, so that's why you name it the same. Like I'm sure that's how people
shipping
name
lanes,
their
right? Yeah, it's the 5 ships in the shipping lane.
Like,
This is the.
It's like, what do you think happened to the other 4? She's like, I'm sorry.
They already took off.
Yeah, we're gonna pass by one when we reach Nexus. That's why they have the phrase "passing the ships," right?
Hey, just know that her concern for Zephyr got her out of her safe space in her in her room of like, this will keep me alive.
Any other jolly open forum? That's a workbook talking. Just open topics.
No, I had fun with it.
I also had a
Yeah, it was
blast.
just lots of fun.
Well, I am gonna go get delicious food. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the stream. 1 second.
As is your right.